knowledge to help fill me in a little bit on the details and what's going on.
Yeah, it's a global media kind of deal. They've switched. They're like all digital now. They're going full digital marketing. They got a lot of great contracts. They just acquired Converge. They, I've heard a lot of stuff on the back end that they got some fucked off books from all that. There was a lot of loss over the couple of years. They were originally another company that's been around since the late 90s out of Nevada. And then it shifted, and now it's out of New York, and it's like there's a lot to it. But at the end of the day, they're a media outlet that does, promo stuff. So they do real hype videos. They do a lot of innovative stuff with their own technology and stuff that they do with software. And they've got some good contracts. They've got Diet Coke. They just restructured an aspect of the Southern Collegiate football. They're doing basketball. They had there was a couple guys last year that went into the NBA that were, when they were in college, they were kind of like ambassadors to TRKA, Troika. So there's a lot of good stuff there. And also then you look at the other side, they've been hammered by the shorts. They came out at $2.95. They were immediately hammered down every time they created a sell wall at $2.95. It hit it like 5-6 times, and then it just dumped, and it dumped hard. It got $1.10, and then it just kept dumping. And they got it down to like 7 cents, 6 cents, and then it banged along 11 cents for a while. It got some momentum around like 13, 14 cents, shot up to 20. Once it got into the 20s, it played ball, and it had a good day at the beginning of March. I want to say like March 3rd or something, March 4th, 5th, somewhere in there. And it shot up, and it actually clipped like 90-something cents, which was the biggest they had seen since it came out. So where we're at right now, we're swinging between 20, 30 cents. 30 cents seems to be a danger zone for the shorts. So you see them doing a lot of finagling today as it was pushing that again. The other day, it went over it, and then they basically didn't halt, but it did. They just kind of parked orders and did a bunch of shit and brought it under 30. So 30 is like a massive no-no zone. I feel like once it breaks that, you're going to probably see high mid-30s, up 40s. Who knows where it could go from there? People ask for price targets. I don't have price targets on it. I just feel like their shorts are in a position where they are way deep on this. I've been doing my own research, and dark pools is the numbers are there. It's like 50-60%. But on the market, it's self-reported. We don't know actually what's actually shorted on the market. But based on just the common numbers, if you look at FTDs alone, day by day FTDs, you can add them up. And, 67 million float is supposedly what's tradable. And it's far surpassing that in FTDs and shorts out there. We had Turtle was on there showing some crazy numbers. There was like 2 other guys today showing numbers, but I want to get you guys up here. Let's get D up and see what he's got.
Yo, Deeds. Give me a second, man.
Well, I just wanted. Please, can I just go ahead with my point real quick?
With your point, but I have a big question.
Okay, all right, okay. So my point is that as far as the company goes, I mean, it's up to GNS in order to go ahead and offer a share price, right? After they do that, it then becomes the board's responsibility in order to go ahead and create a growth plan that exceeds those those expectations. And I don't know the exact timeline on that, or they have to go ahead and start fielding other offers.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry,
So
Deeds.
this is another case, and by the way, real quick disclaimer, I am an investor in GNS. I'm not an investor in Troika. Anything I say is my own opinion and not investment advice. Sorry, guys, just trying to be careful. If we're poking bears, I'm going to say that to you guys as well. If we're poking bears and we're fighting back, don't make yourself easy targets.
No, you're right.
We're not poking bears, man. We're poking the market.
Yeah. You're pretty much poking bears by taking longs, but
we're poking bears in this market, man. Hold on. This is the whole reason I raised my hand. Okay, we're not like saying, hey guys, don't shoot me. I'm the messenger. Don't get mad at me because I have a name in this game. I don't give a fuck. Okay, here's my problem. and this has been my problem since we started this, and that's why I came in here, Barking Spider. We cannot be okay, and we're not even talking about some of the companies out here that are at high risk. Bed Bath and Beyond. I mean, come on.
And nobody in the store.
It doesn't matter. This whole market is fucked up. We cannot pretend like naked shorting and seller boxing does not exist, and that with MMTLP, Huckleberry, with MMTLP, this entire market is at risk, and I come in here begging and pleading for anyone who is like praying for their own game plan, their own play in this market to like actually do something. Unless you're trying to scalp, what are we supposed to do? I'm frightened. I have a lot of money in this market, and I'm at a loss, dude. A big loss. Like, do I have to?
I'm
hold
not
on?
a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor.
Do I have to pretend like the Bears have it right now, and when the Bulls come back, when the market's not fucked up, that it's okay for naked shorting to exist when the quote-unquote Bears have it? I mean, fuck.
So Deeds, real quick, I'm just gonna kind of clarify something there. Poking a bear, it's not in this case bears and bulls. It's poking the bear as in you're messing with a big predator, and we're poking at FINRA, the SEC, SIFMA, FTC, and we're looking for regulatory change that is going to force the regulators and those that are in charge of enforcing the markets and protecting investors, and that's all investors, whether you're in a pension, a 401k, a retail investor, whether or not you are a passive investor or an active day trader, these markets should be protected and regulated. And if there are companies that are producing good goods and services and producing good revenues and good technologies,
And great
these companies
technology.
deserve to
It's
succeed.
not just good,
And if
it's
they're-
great.
Yeah, and if these companies are unable to succeed and unable to grow and unable to produce jobs and technologies and medicines because there's some market maker, hedge fund, broker dealer cabal in cahoots with the regulators, that these guys are making millions and millions and millions of dollars at the very top, dude, we're definitely poking the bear on this one. And since there's some really, really loose rules right now against social media, you can't, guys, I've been reading a lot about this the last little bit, trying to get myself prepared and ready and just understanding. And there's some really loose rules and guidelines against social media and having these conversations, and it's so that they can hold us down and they can prevent us from having these conversations. They've literally made it, like, guys, I'm going to tell you one rule that it's on the FTC website.
Hit record, Barking Spider. Please put record on this, because what I'm about to say
It's on my YouTube. It's on my YouTube. Go ahead.
So if I go to, I don't know, Subway, and they, the kid behind the register throws me a 10% off, I don't know, for wearing a black shirt, and I say, oh man, that was awesome. And then I go later that day and say, hey, I just went to Subway down the street. That place is awesome. They didn't ask me to post anything. They didn't ask me to promote anything. They didn't ask me to sponsor anything. I just literally, because I appreciated the service and experience I got while I was at Subway, I posted it about on social media. I have now violated FTC guidelines. Now, that is likely never, ever, ever going to get looked at. But if you're in our position right now where we are literally starting to create momentum, we're starting to get seen, we're starting to get heard, all I was saying there is nobody wants to be an easy target where they can silence somebody because you posted something silly or because you came on and made a comment. And so in those disclaimers, that's why I was just kind of throwing that out there for everybody. Going back to Troika, though, I'm interested in this, and because I was just looking it up, I mean, 119 million revenue.
This is
this
fucked
company
up,
looks
man.
like they're probably doing some
I'm
great
trying.
things
I'm
and being
not
held down.
trying to back you up on what you're saying. And what I'm trying to say is that this market right now is talking in bare nonsense. And what I've been praying to God is that everybody that's in this market right now, that is suffering, that is claiming that the shorts need to squeeze, and this, that, and the other. This is fucking financial proof that this market is fucked up. Your money cannot be trusted. It is bullshit, okay? If we were in a different market, okay, if we were in a market where we didn't have to pray to God, that if I woke up and you had good news from a company that was telling you that they're about to turn shit around, that they were going to show positive feedback in the next 3 or 4 months, right? Quarters, right? We're just talking quarters. I can show positive feedback. You guys are not going to be in the negative. We're going to shut down stores. We are going to show that we have taken the measures to have a positive income. The revenue was positive, not negative, not on top of everything else that happens. You would believe that the stock would go up. All we're doing here is fucking around and shedding our money into a system that will continually short it. I don't want to talk about anything else. When we talk about TRKA, all right, when I see this post day after day after day after day, my problem is we're chasing a scalping habit. If I'm wrong, you guys can fucking ban me, kick me the fuck out. This is not just about this stock. This is about every stock. And at the end of the day, it's about MMTLP and the fucking corruptness that is happening inside of this nation. This shit should not be happening right now, guys. There's only 67 people listening, now 71. I'm watching it as I speak. This is bullshit. There is no reason for this. In a declining market or a market where we are fucking gaining and the Bears win or the Bulls lose, it does not matter. At the end of the day, this is corrupt as fucking corrupt can be. I don't want to see another tweet. I don't care what anyone says about the short fucking technology. I don't care about any kind of fucking, any disruption in this market. The disruption starts from the fact that nothing can be trusted, and I am fucking tired of it.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Deeds.
I'm out.
Hey, Deeds, I agree with you. We all agree with you. The market's corrupt as fuck, but we're gonna get some people up here. We're gonna get some positivity going. We're gonna chill out. You had your piece. Okay, there he goes. I did not boot him for the record. So there's a lot of people that got a lot to vent. Tonight's really not the space to vent. Tonight, say your point, get it out there. But remember, you got a lot of people in the room that are here to talk some numbers and try to get a little insight on what's going on. We got to take this with a scalpel. If we were all to look at the whole thing overall, we would take our money and stick it under the mattress. I mean, that's not a bad idea, but at the end of days, we are all trading here. We're trading live. And let's talk for a second about this. Let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about what we're seeing. I want to hear some positivity because there's a turnaround. I remember March of 2009. They thought this thing was going to go on for 5 years. It went on for 3 years and a quarter. And soon as March ended, April, it started to fucking come back. And there were people that didn't even know it. And the bull run had begun. And it went on until summer before people caught on. And that's when tech stocks started to rage again. It took tech stocks 8 years or 9 years to come back from what they had in the late 90s. So let's just bring it back. We could be in a turnaround. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. We went through fucking 2020 end of a bull run. We went through 21-22 of nothing but bearish, absolute criminal activity. We're all very aware of it. I want to get everybody up here to talk. Everybody come up. You know, let's all calm it down. Less emotion. We ran Frank off. He's got some shit to do, and he's like, man, that shit is hot right now. So,
Spider, if you're okay, I would love to join with you on this conversation here for just a second, because I have never been more excited than I am probably right now. And it's because you have people like yourself in these, hosting these spaces, having these conversations, bringing people together where we can have these topics, and we have more momentum, we have more community than ever before.
Yo,
these spaces are taking off, these people are taking off, and we're able to really start to see change, and we're really able to start to see that our voices are going to have an influence and a direction on how the market reacts.
Yo, Huck, I just want to thank you for all of your great summaries of MMTLP. Like, they've all been great.
Well, thank you. Truly, truly, I appreciate that.
Credit where credit's due, man.
all right. Hey, so we have Gator. He's had his hand up for a little while. Let's hear what he's got to say. Let's have fun. Let's keep it positive. Let's talk numbers. Try to keep the emotion out of it. We all want to hit a punching bag, but you know, we got short time. We got a lot of people's attention here that want to talk, and I want all of you to come up. Don't be afraid to come up. Ask a question. Give us an answer. Let's do this. Go ahead, Gator. I want to hear what you got, bud.
Hi, so I'm a she, not a he.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Gator sounds so aggressive. I apologize. I thought I was like dealing with another hot.
Is your little girl with you? Is your 11-year-old with you tonight, Gator?
I don't have any children.
Oh, I thought, weren't you on with Drew and your girl talked to Drew forever the other night?
I don't have a child.
Oh, well, that's my fault then.
That's
After
okay.
this, the way this
on the join button.
Might come out of this thing with the kid. Listen.
Screw around on my profile.
Real quick,
let me see if I can find it.
Whoever's doing the sound bites, I want you on Friday nights, because that shit's lit.
Yo, please.
7 o'clock Friday nights. But yeah, go ahead, Gator. I want to hear what you have.
No, I've only been trading for a short period of time. Somehow I stumbled into MMTLP and all the crap. I'm wondering, how bad has the shorting and the high, I forget what the acronym is, but the high cost to short when they have to borrow the shares, I forget what that terminology is called.
Cost to borrow, yeah.
So I know that, you know, the topic has been around for 20-something years now. Like, I've seen that Forbes magazine cover talking about it, and it's come up, you know, from what I've seen online and research, that the topic has come up here and there and here and there, but has it been this egregious?
You know, it was on the cover of Forbes in 1988, naked shorting. It's been around since the beginning of time, but we went into the digital era, and that changed the game of naked shorting. It used to be a piece of paper, had to come out of the clearinghouse, and it had to take time to get to the floor. Now it's all done by computers. So they've brought in all these wonderful brains. These hackers come in and they say, this is what we want. And we all talk about Robot Godzilla and the algorithms and all of that. And, you know, I'm not a tinfoil hat guy, but in some aspect where there's smoke, there's fire. And so, yes, absolutely, it is egregious. It is out of control, but it does not mean that they have the upper hand. And I'll tell you why. Real quick, for all of you out there that feel like the man has you by the balls, this is where the man wants to break us up, because they communicate. They're not allowed to communicate amongst market maker to hedge fund in private session. It needs to be able to be viewed. They've all been fined for being in Tinder and Grindr, in the message boards where they're heavily protected by privacy acts, where they can communicate and collude and come up with ways to attack the market. And they've been busted for it. They get fines, slap on the wrist, we know. But this is why they don't want them communicating like that. It's the reason they don't want us communicating like that. When you pull together retail, you're pulling together one of the biggest hedge funds in the country. When you can pull this many people together that are all on one page saying, you know what, I love this stock. And that's dangerous for anybody in that short position. So they do everything and anything to shut this shit down, including bring the aliens into our spaces call, shut us down, break us up. I've seen it
Barking.
all.
Yo, I think I got DDoS attacked the first time that I like made my main live stream like about TRKA. It was just fucking laggy as all hell.
Yeah, when the lizard people show up and it just gets weird. We had that the other night. Me and Josh were hanging in the late part of the Friday night call last week, and I mean, it just got weird. You know, one of the things I'll tell you, you know, we all know who Jim Cramer is. If he touches that thing, it's going into the dirt. So everything,
Correct.
all his calls from Bear Stearns to Enron,
The one that's
the
$9.99.
guy's got the worst track record. But I look at it with a little bit bigger perspective on Jim Cramer. You have to remember that when somebody's on their way out, what's the best thing they can do? They can gain exit liquidity, right? So when Silicon Valley Bank was falling, when Credit Suisse was falling, he was out there saying they're fine, they're fine, they're fine, they're fine. Because he needs the old hats that are watching Fox Business to keep putting their pension money in there, keep putting their retirement in there to give them exit liquidity. So I feel like he is a puppet and he is hired and he knows he's on the way down. And that's why he still has a job. So he is there to support that machine. So honestly, at the end of days, you have to watch out for the FUD. It's
Thank
a real
you, buddy.
thing.
I'll add you in a second.
And doubt, and it's not something that they do. It's something we create within ourselves, our emotion, and it's based on what we read and what we see. Not knowing that the media outlets are all owned by Vanguard and BlackRock, and they've all got positions short and long, and they play this how they want to play it. But if we stay tuned to the numbers, we stay tuned to what's happening, we don't run astray, we don't make emotional bails and give up the money, because ultimately what they want to do is scare you out. I call it shaking the tree. They want to shake the tree and see who's got the strong hands to hold on, and they do it all the time. They do it every day. They did it on the way up the other day, and it actually it didn't even trigger any halts because of it. We went from 20 cents to 30 cents. And
I'm not, yeah, just for clarity, I'm not getting rid of this until we see the GNS offer price, because, I mean, who knows what they value it at, because they're growing so much.
Yep, and I agree. And by the way, hats off to everybody that was in GNS today. Great day. I had GNS at 107. I popped it at 144 today. I'm still holding some, but then I rolled that in when they brought us down on TRKA. They brought us down to 24 and some change. I said, no. I've seen this 7-cent swing. So I jumped in, and they basically bought me another 4,500 shares. It's not big, but it's something. You know, it's something to add to the pile. But yeah, 1313 if you want to hop up here. But Gator, don't go anywhere yet.
Thank you.
Go ahead, 1313. You're on, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, guys? How you doing? Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, man.
My bad. It's I just joined because I saw you guys live, completely random. I follow you guys and I spam you guys a lot with the same shit over and over again. But
attaboy.
I want to ask about Troika. Last week, my father, he bought about close to 300,000 shares. He's at like 26-ish.
Where's that sound effect guy? Where's that sound effect guy right there? I mean, come on. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
The sound effect was me, I think, earlier. But yeah, I just want to know any what's going on with Troika? What's the buzz about it?
Oh, there's a lot of buzz. Well, we're talking a couple of things. We're talking fundamentals. Okay, so the fundamentals have grown over 2022, 1,192% up in profit due to Converge. Converge basically took them from $9 million negative per year to $21 million positive per year. That started in 2022. Wow. We go into this year fundamentally growing, pulling Diet Coke and a few other new contracts. They restructured college football last year, the southern aspect of college football. They actually got involved.
Whoa, that's aggressive.
College football. They got into college basketball. Then they got two spokesmen that went into the NBA. One of them's Blanchero, Pacheco. I don't know. I can't even keep track of names anymore. But either way, they got great fundamentals building forward. They're trying to write their books from all of what was happening over the years in the past. But at the same time, they're coming out of a massive short assault that's gone on for about 2 years, where the numbers have been all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if, and I said this earlier, if it's like 2-3x the tradable float in shorts alone. And remember, those numbers are self-reported.
Yeah, the thing that I added you to is V2.
You can't buy that. But either way, the numbers are there. In some aspects, people are finding wild information every day. And here we are. So you can see in the volatility based on, I mean, look at trajectory in it. You know, back in a week and a half ago, I reached out to ARCA Bulls. It was, by the way, a fucking gangster. He's an amazing with technical analysis, and he's on YouTube as well. By the way, get on YouTube, check out Buzz. Buzz up here is co-host. He's got a YouTube, and ARCA Bulls as well. Those two do great TA. So if you get on YouTube, check them out and shoot them a follow. Hit them with a bell, and you'll see when they're going live. But yeah, he was basically like, "What's your indicator? What's telling you it's going to move?" And I said, "Well, it's been on this wedge all the way down, and it just broke laterally, and it looks like it punched out of the wedge. And the only other way I could see this thing going is there's support, there's pressure coming up." And he said, "Is there any catalyst?" I said, "Well, not that I know of, but there's got to be something." And lo and behold, there was a catalyst. It was Roger Hamilton's move for to do the acquisition and purchase. And so it kind of threw everybody into a confusion, because you have a buyback happening where Troika itself came forward and said, "Look, we wanted to put 300,000 shares out, or 300 million shares out there, but we realized we're going to lose our fucking investors. We lost a bunch on the last run. So we're gonna actually buy that back." Okay, so that was the first stage. Okay, the second stage was Roger Hamilton stepped in and was like, "Yo, this is taking so much attention, and it's a marketing fucking amazing value there for his company, GNS, that he was like, yo, let's talk a deal out." So there's been a deal talked out. We haven't got all the details yet. We won't see them for a while. And you know how it goes. We're retail class to hear the real truth. So the ship will be sailed. So you got to kind of carry with your gut a little bit, and kind of where there's smoke, there's fire. So there's enough there that something's happening, okay? So that's going to push it. And there's a lot of talks that the value estimation is around $1.50 to $2 a share. Now, that's not something to write home about, but if you're sitting at 20, 30 cents a share, that's a lot of upside for a lot of people. And I always say, when you're walking in a casino, if you got $100 on you for the night and you can't go play with the big dogs, go hit the penny slots and drink for free all night. And so if you're coming into this thing and you don't have a lot of cash, a lot of liquidity to play, grab those penny stocks and have fun, because if you look at the big ones, you're going to get a share of Tesla, 2 shares of Tesla, and that thing's going to move 3-7%. And you're never going to pull it, because it's never enough to really get you going. So I always like to say, if you're starting out playing the penny stocks, now this is not financial advice. This is just a guy that day trades, but more or less long holds until the timing's right. I sell wine for a living, high-end wine. I'm out here in the Napa Valley. So that's what I do for a living. I move the big bottles, the $500 bottles cab. And but I got a lot of people want to come up. I know there's people that got some good stuff tonight. So let's get this mic around, everybody, but don't go away.
Can I go real quick? Can we let him finish? And can we let him finish, and then can I say something, and then we'll move to Hans?
Yeah, sounds good. I just want to give a nod to Jim Ross in the house. I just want to let him come up at some point here real soon. He's my boy. We've been in here swinging for a bit. But yeah, go ahead and finish your bit, bud.
Quick question. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be too late? It'll boom too high by Monday if I go in by like 400,000 or 500,000 shares of Troika? Because right now I'm on call because they're going bankrupt Monday. It has a 700K float.
You're asking for financial advice, sir.
Yeah, we can't really give you financial advice, but I'll tell you, I love this stock.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah. I'm in deep, and I keep buying the pullbacks to help add fuel to the fire. So I'm all over the place. But I'll tell you, it's a cheap stock, and if you don't have a lot of bullets, it's a fun stock to get into. So, but I can't give you financial advice.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.
I just want to say,
Buzz, where do you want to go?
I just want to go ahead and say for the stream that we are going to have a space on Friday. Our member Neil, who has been a hedge fund owner, he will go ahead and he will be on the space. GNS has reached out to me. And they tagged me in a post with CEO Block as well as I think it was Roger Hamilton himself. So what I did was I went ahead and I also DM'd the COO of TRKA as well, just to try to be ambitious. But anyways, it should be a really fun space, and I think that we might be able to see Arca, Frank, maybe Avid. So we're gonna have some good speakers with a lot of knowledge. But Hollywood has had her hand up like the longest. So
Yeah, let's go
Hollywood,
Hollywood and then Jim.
please.
Let's go.
Let Jim go first. I don't have anything real earth shaking, so let him go first. I can wait.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good. What's up, Jimbo?
Good. What up? Good.
Guys, I just want to thank you once again for letting me be in the group, and also this has been quite a journey for all of us since this all began. Just wanted to say hello to everyone because I see you on the boards every day, and wanted to say hello. I was especially going to shout out to the Niz16. I know he's listening. Nice to see you there, sir.
Love the Niz. Love his TA.
Everybody loves the Niz. The Niz gives great TA.
Yo, excellent TA, brother.
Shoot Niz a follow, y'all.
Yo,
He's a good dude.
yo, I appreciate good TA, and I do appreciate yours, man.
Absolutely. There he is crying.
Buzz, your shit should say, I give good TA. Your profile. Buzz gives good TA.
I mean, it's honestly like one of my favorite compliments. So like, whenever I see somebody else that has good TA, like I definitely let them know about it.
Well, I wanted to jump on here just briefly and tell you guys some of the things that I've been found in the research that I've been doing, and also just to kind of give some clarification, because a lot of us are here, a lot of us are on StockTwits, a lot of us are on Reddit, and the information flies back and forth. So sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's inaccurate. Just wanted to talk briefly about our compliance issue, and then Jeffrey's role in this, at least what I believe Jeffrey's role in this, and just kind of clarify a few things. The first is the big one. They're saying that by May 15th, which is our compliance date, obviously we have to be $1 a day compliant for an average of 10 days by the 15th of May. Now that, a lot of people online are saying April 28th. Actually, the very first day would be technically May 2nd. So as long as we had May 2nd compliance, $1 a day average for the next 10 days, then technically we would be compliant.
Now that there's an offer on the table, though, bro, that changes things, in my opinion.
Yes, it does. What's most important about that is I don't think that's even going to be a problem for us, and I'll tell you why. The big movement that happened for us back in February, obviously, is when Jeffries came in.
Thanks.
Jeffries LLC. For those of you who don't really understand how mammoth Jeffries LLC is, all they do, their entire position in life and in their job is to deal in multi-billion-dollar deals. Okay? For those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody does, but those of you who don't know, the GameStop, even if you didn't trade back then, which I didn't, I've only been trading for 3 years, but even if you didn't trade back then, GameStop made international news because it went to the heavens. It went to $400 a share. Executives who were struggling to make ends meet, they retired on $1 million of stock. Jeffries was the reason for that.
Chat.
Essentially, what Jeffries did was they started buying up shares.
I sold
at the
GNS above 7. I think it was like 720 something. They
started telling everybody, because Jeffries, of course, is a broker.
My average is 59 cents.
We're not allowing shorting
Usually
of
the acquiring company goes down and the acquisition goes up, which is why I'm kind of bullish on TRKA and not as bullish on GNS per se until whatever's figured out. But I am still bullish on GNS because I do respect Roger Hamilton and what he's doing. So I don't know. And that would be like financial advice if I really wanted to get like even more detail.
A mobile company. He has all kinds of small companies.
I'm sorry I can't be of more help.
Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile was recently purchased by T-Mobile. The facilitator of that deal, Jeffries LLC. This is all that they do. So why does Jeffries, as a multi-billion-dollar deal, decide to jump into what essentially was a $30 million company? It would be a waste of their time, unless, of course, they saw big potential here, which is clearly what they see in us. The Converse deal, yes, $125 million deal, but they must see something much bigger than us. They must see the same thing as they saw with the AMC deal. And if for those of you who read the Investor Place article today, basically giving a side-by-side comparison between the AMC deal and our deal, that's essentially what I believe is happening. One of two things are about to happen. And I think, obviously, Rogers jumped the gun by basically jumping out there. You know, Rogers, very enthusiastic guy. I think he kind of likes the limelight a little bit, and that's fine. You know, who doesn't? But when he basically came out and said, we're going to try and buy up Troika there, they're like, you shouldn't have said that so soon, because I think that's probably what they're trying to accomplish here, because essentially that's what Jeffrey's wheelhouse is. They either help buy companies or they help reset the price of companies. One of those things is going to happen for us right now. We talk, you know, I'm actually the guy who started talking a lot about the reverse stock split. And the only reason why I said that was because I wanted people to understand that technically speaking, was a possibility. I never really believed that was a real possibility, but like every possibility that's out there, it's worthy of being acknowledged, because who wants to be thrown off their guard to think that that it could happen, that it might not happen, then suddenly it does happen. I was in a stock about a month ago called Genius Brands, not to be confused with Genius Group, and they kept saying, we have no plans for a reverse stock split, and that's always the key terminology. They always say, we have no plans, which is a fancy corporate way of saying we have a way out, just to say, hey, just in case we actually have to do it. In this case, I honestly don't see them doing it. Jeffries has never been involved in a reverse stock split, ever. And for them to come into a company to suddenly instigate one for the first time, it makes no sense. Now, all these things I'm talking about, of course, are just simple logic and reason. But personally, and again, not financial advice, just my opinion, by the end of the month, all of this will be resolved. Whether we get organic compliance on a short squeeze, or whether or not Rogers decides to buy out the company. Or technically speaking, it could be both. We could get compliance just because they're running out of time. And then once we get compliance, they could say, okay, now that we have compliance, we can focus on the sale of the company, and then the sale can go through. But if you remember, when the GameStop deal happened, they announced those the thing about the short squeeze, essentially to say that we're not going to loan out any more shares anymore. That happened on Friday after hours. The same thing that happened just last Friday when they talked about the S3. The S3, by the way, I believe is simply a backstop. If the deal for the sale of the company doesn't happen by that time, or for some reason it doesn't go through, just for some reason, and the short squeeze does happen and they reset the price, well, it's a great way for the company to make some money at that point. They can start selling off shares.
They could also make their balance sheet better though too, and then that would also make them a more attractive acquisition.
Exactly. So many possibilities happening right now. So many things set up by these particular moves by Jeffries. And Jeffries, let's not kid ourselves. Jeffries is basically in charge at this point. The big reason why no one has heard from Sid at this point is because he's likely in that corporate quiet period. He's not going to say anything, and technically he either can't or he doesn't have to. Jeffries is in charge at this point. So when Jeffries came in, that was huge for us. Now, I don't know everything that's happening in the deal clearly. I've just done a lot of research and a lot of analysis and a lot of, I'm listening to how people talk. I'm listening to what Rogers is saying, all his little kind of cryptic tweets that keeps popping up all over the day. Clearly the guy likes attention, but he's letting people know what he thinks is going to happen, or he's letting people know what he's trying to have happen behind the scenes. What I can say with some level of confidence, and again, not financial advice, just my opinion, that all of whatever is about to happen will probably be wrapped up by the end of the month. I don't think the sale is going to happen. It's not going to be announced on April 19th, because if it did, we would be responsible for doing that, and it would be Rogers doing that. So on the 19th, likely they're not going to announce a sale.
No dates, homie, dude. Putting dates on stuff like this is like really dangerous. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, the 19th is the date that Rogers announced his corporate happenings. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
That's also right after Gary Gensler has that. I believe it's a congressional hearing on the 18th.
Right. So those are the things that are happening essentially next week. Now, again, I don't think anything is going to be announced around that time necessarily because of all the things we just mentioned. But what I believe is that sometime, because of compliance, sometime by the end of the month, all this is going to be resolved. So all I just say is to everybody, hang in there. Don't worry about the day-to-day action. Find the dips that you can load up a little bit more if you'd like. Just my opinion, not financial advice.
It's about making money every day, in my opinion.
It's about making money every day.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's get over to Hollywood real quick. And you still got your hand up, Jim. Hollywood,
I'll put it
you
down.
want to say something? And then we got Striving's going to come up right after that, Realm Jumper. But go ahead.
Thanks for bringing me up. I've been following TRKA a little bit. I went during the run up, and I remember when they did the offering, Roger commented about that. And he was saying he still liked the company, but he didn't like the lack of transparency. I missed the part about the reverse, about the buyback. So I think that, I didn't follow it that carefully. So I didn't realize that there was a buyback. And I guess that's why Roger was interested again. But I was just curious about something you said, Barkin. The hedge funds really used Grindr to communicate?
Yeah, they use Grindr. See, dating sites have more support when it comes to privacy acts. So they're more protected, and it's more fucking, it's more to trip up the investigators to try to get in to even find that. So, that's been going on since the beginning of Tinder. They use those because their messaging back and forth is so protected that it's...
Oh, shit. Okay, I get it. So they have accounts set up, and that's how they talk to each other?
That's how some can talk to each other. Because you got to remember, guys like our market maker also have a sister company that's a hedge fund. And so in order to kind of call out what the score is going to be and then bet on what the score is going to be, they can talk in those aspects and communicate. Now, are they always right? No, because it's an organic industry itself. So you've got a lot of weight can swing different ways and things can change it. As soon as Powell opens his mouth yelling, there's a lot of factors that can change that, but they can still stay on the same page. And many of them are doing that through those different aspects of communication. But I wanted to touch on something you asked about when it comes to the buyback. The buyback was, let me just kind of simplify the buyback. It wasn't like a nuts and bolts buyback. It was basically to gain the trust of their investors, because the investors saw the run up, right? And a lot of investors started bailing. They created these shares to be able to kind of liquidate as they go and basically flood it with 300 million shares. And basically, as soon as they got word that those were registering and they were getting loaded into the cannon, as soon as the retail heard that, they said, we're out. So some stayed because they were like, you know what, this is still a value. It's not even, it's down 40 cents to 30 cents. It's still a value because it's going over $1. It's not going to be here. So those people stayed, and it wasn't enough, and it got their attention. So they basically reached out to the public and said, yo, we're going to pull those off the shelf. And then a few weeks later, fast forward, they just put in and said, look, we're going to do this the right way, and we're going to call for a shelf. And what that means is they're basically going to call for a number of shares to be put up on the shelf that are it's a combination of things, of debt consolidation, actual e-shares. So they've got a package that they've just registered to put on the shelf. Now, let me give you some examples. Companies only do that. They don't fight to get them on the market. They fight to have them on the shelf when they have a situation where they can see momentum, they can see trajectory, they can see something in the forecast that the stock's going to move at least 50 to 70%. So, for instance, NVIDIA, NVIDIA in February filed for their shelf. Guess what they got? $10 billion on the shelf. It's rose 80% since then. You look at GameStop,
but I don't.
Same thing. They shelved when they saw the movement. They didn't get as much money out of it because it kind of got tanked to 55 after it came down. But, you know, when you have a short squeeze, they can't legally just dump shares. Insiders can't say, oh, fuck, I've got 1,000 shares. I'm going to sell those tomorrow. No, they can't do that. They got to register their insider sales. And the way they do it is they either do it like the shelf, where it's going to be looking at 5 weeks, 6 weeks out. Like those won't even, like if we squeeze tomorrow, they can't drop those shares because the process they have to go through. So those shares are registered saying, we know something's coming. We'll take the 6 week window. We want to load this up. And they did. And God bless them, because that makes me bullish. Because remember, I love the MOAS and all that, but I'm also a smart guy and can do math. Okay. So 20 to 30 cents. And if you're going to see this thing go to $1.50 to $2. Well, we all know that what retail does. We know that retail's bigger than they've ever been, bigger than fucking pandemic and GameStop and all that. They're like 10x bigger. Everyone's got a Robinhood. Everybody's got all this shit. Well, when that starts to run and those notifications go out, you get a squeeze. You're going to get a squeeze to get there. There's no question. There's so many shorts on it. But when you look at it in a nutshell, if you're going for $1.50 to $2, there's going to be movement. And when that movement happens, you're going to have FOMO. And that's just nature of the beast. That's your Volkswagen. That's a lot of others. Everybody fought for shares. Porsche had the most of them. Porsche had the majority. But a lot of retail said, I want VW shares in the middle of that, just like GameStop. So that drives it higher than the planned number of true value of $1.50 to $2. And that kind of quick movement percentage-wise. You have to think about this as a 20 to 30 cent stock. We're all invested in all prices of stocks, from healthcare, that are $300 to $500 a share. But this is a 20 to 30 cent stock. Retail sees this to run to 40, 60, 80. It's just like what happened. We saw a small run. It's almost like the pre-pump for AMC in I want to say that was January 21st to the 23rd of 2020. No, 2021. No, 2020. It went, $19 from like $6 and then got pulled back down. Rode along until the end of May, Memorial Day weekend. We were closed. Mexico ran it to $33. We opened that following day, Tuesday, at 34 and some change, and it went to 77, 78. I don't know. It was a big run.
72, I think.
Yeah, that's what they'll tell you. I love how they shave the charts down after the fact. They can change history on those charts. We all saw those numbers. We've seen those numbers where it shoots up and then you see it later. It's reported at about 5-6 cents or $10 less than whatever it is. But yeah, so I do see this being a plan for the long-term value that they're talking about, this buyback, and what the value is for the purchase for Roger, and the value of what's put on the shelf and what they want. They don't want 20 cents a share on that. They know. They were trying to dump those when they saw it going to 97 cents. That's the most action this thing's seen in a year. And so, 20 cents was the most action this thing's seen in a long time. There was a long period of time where TRKA sat down there, just waiting. And they were just writing their ship. They were just working on their business, and the shorts just kept piling in, and then retail showed up, and then a bunch of other small movement, and then the big Converge. They took on Converge and acquired them. And when that took off, it was like retail got wind of it. They went from negative 9 million to positive 21. That swing causing for an 1,192. All this shit, 1,100% profit from the year on year is massive. That's massive. And that's because of that acquisition. And that gave it the fuel to get it into the 20s, to get it to squeeze shorts, to push 90 cents. And they fucking went all in. And this thing is bagged with a lot of shorts. There's no question. So you can play it either way. Not financial advice, fundamental.
No, I get it. Sure. Do you think that Roger actually is going to go through? Because, I'm just thinking of the whole created GTAI thing.
We all can only speculate, right? We're not going to know until we know. But my speculation from my gut.
You don't think it matters? Like
No,
that it's going
it
up
matters.
either.
No, it matters. Now, let me say, I just feel like the timing. I mean, you got to look at the timeline, right? So from the announcement to today, what that tells me, and that's a short period of time, but it's also a longer period of time to get a deal done. What it tells me is that there's, everyone's like, oh, he's buying it out. I think there's going to be some meat in the middle. I don't know, say merger. I don't know what. Something.
Do you guys remember what happened with Elon and his like how he reneged on Twitter and then he had to go through with it because the SEC? It's kind of a similar situation that Roger kind of put himself in by tweeting that and then taking it back, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion and market theory.
Well, that depends on. I mean, it wasn't because Elon put it on Twitter; it's because he made them an offer.
Yeah, but verbally going ahead and putting it on a public forum as a CEO, that's acting in a business capacity.
Well,
that does constitute a deal where he would be liable for. That's why the judge made him buy it.
Yes, of course they did. The only reason the judge made him buy it was because he said he didn't want to buy it after he made a proposal. And the reason he said he didn't want to buy it after the proposal was because he was not going to be able to change certain aspects. Then you saw the push for all the leadership and all the execs, and then the ousting of many as he took it over. It was a literal battle of what was perceived politics against him buying it from so many angles, from the purchasing agent to the Twitter themselves to the United States government. That dude went into that because of one thing. I will pay $44 billion right now to make the global media real free speech, because I'll never touch the other 250 billion. I'm dead soon. I party with Kanye. I'm living my life. So you got to look at that situation. He literally was doing it for the free speech of Twitter. And I listened to the spaces last night. I was on there, and he was touching on all of it. I mean, he was drinking the whole time and interacting and basically roasting BBC live for 8 million people, and it was all broke out into branches of regions for the Twitter spaces so it could support it with the bandwidth. It was a massive fucking feat that I think will only grow, and he needs a lot of work on Twitter, and he openly said it. Twitter needs so much work on spaces, all these things. So Twitter, it's kind of like a fucking 57 Chevy hot rod in the garage. It needs a fucking training, needs this, needs a fucking motor, needs all this, but it's a good-looking 57 that used to pull big numbers. It's a hot rod. He's got to go in, fix some things, make it run right. It was ran by a bunch of people that had no interest. They had no stocks in the company. That was the first red flag that he threw up. Nobody in this company owns any stock. So he went in and he became a major stockholder, and that was his approach. Like, I own the company. I own more stock than you do. He was the one that pushed Jack out. He pushed everybody out. All the old fuckers protecting the rhetoric, the agenda, the shit that we all hate so much that comes from the investors, Vanguard and BlackRock, who own Twitter. And then Elon came in and said, I could do better than that. So that's where that all started, because that, to me, lays out the fact that where the money is where the word is. And if you look at what we talked about earlier with Gary Gensler and all the donations from the market maker and his sister hedge fund, you got to look at it from a perspective that money, unlike everybody jokes about Mexico, you can go down there and pay off the cops. The cops are getting paid off right here, right in your backyard. Sure. And so with that, Elon fought all that for freedom, basically, just because why not? He wants to be Iron Man. He's got all that money, and that's one way to do it socially. And that's why he did that call last night. I think it was great. He was eloquent, he was direct, and he was drinking the whole time. And I love it.
Can you, dude? If you're gonna keep talking about drinking, can you send me a bottle? Like,
I'm actually on I'm on a 6-time distilled vodka right now with a watermelon, a splash of watermelon, and then a bubble water. Like a peachy bubble water deal. So it's like
I have 2XO.
That sounds awful.
I have 2XO that I'm drinking neat right now. It's a really nice bourbon. But
so,
yeah.
So I appreciate your insight. I just want to give kudos to Buzz. Buzz, you and I were talking, I guess, a couple of weeks ago about Color Star. I told you that's like my pet stock, and you were looking it up. And thanks to you, I sold it at 208 and bought it back at like 152, and now it's back up to like 195. So I wanted to thank you for that. We were just
the chart. Thank the chart. Don't thank me. I was just there.
Where's the sound effect guy? I needed to hear the crowd right there.
What you were saying about it.
Right when
Not
you said
about
that,
the
I want to
chart.
hear.
Wait. Oh, can you remind me exactly what I said? Because to be honest, I evaluate stocks all day, every day.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the chart. You didn't like the company because they don't have a lot of revenue. But the chart was kind of going to go back up. You know, you're charting, it was going down and back up, and you didn't really like the fundamentals of the company. And I thought about it. I sold it 208, and it went down to like 138. And then I bought it back at like 152.
Do you want to know what that is?
What?
I said, do you want to know what that is? That's the difference between trading and investing and gambling, because you did it based off statistics.
I don't understand.
So I ran the revenue. Everything I do, ma'am, is based off revenue. Well, not revenue, but like just all fundamentals.
Oh God, you called me ma'am.
Well, I just speak with respect. I'm sorry. So anyways, everything that I do is calculated by statistics. I try to trade like a robot. It's kind of like unhealthy, I think. But I the way I look at it is I look at the chart. I look at news. I look at all types of different things. I look at the fundamentals. I look at the sector. I look at the future of the sector, in my opinion. And then I just kind of give my analysis based off that. I don't really care about other people's like analyses. I don't care who they work for. It doesn't matter if they're from Goldman Sachs or BlackRock or who. Like if they value a stock at $20, right? That the only thing that does is that opens up easier capital in order for the company to then do an offering, right? And raise capital that way, because they could say that they're worth X amount of dollars per share. So in theory, I am my own analyst. Not to be cocky, like I do come off as cocky. I know it. I used to be a salesman. I'm sorry, but like it's just who I am, and I'm confident with what I say.
No, it's all good. It's just one of those stocks that seems to run on weird news. So it's like, you predicted it would go down, it went down, and then some news came out about them sponsoring a Neo concert.
Look at my tweets. Look at my tweets and look at this company called Styx. You'll see a chart it's a 4-hour chart that I kind of zoomed out on. I hate to self-promote, but just like go check out my library. There's like a lot of like potential bangers and already things that have banged.
I'm following you. So I guess I'll see if I go onto your page, I can see a link to your YouTube.
Just go through my library. But I do want to say that obviously not every stock goes up. So like make sure that you look at the chart of the stock and look at the dates after I posted the video rather than overall, because some things may have had a nice run and it could have been a great swing play or a nice scalp, right? And then some things could have just nosedived thereafter. You know what I mean? So just judge it by that if you do go back.
Sure. So I'm not going to take up more of your time. Thanks, guys. Thanks for giving me the mic. I also gave you a follow, Barkin.
Thanks.
So going to go back to listening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for all the compliments.
We got a few more here. We got Lucky wants to come up. Let's let Lucky up. And then we had somebody else with just who had their hand up. We're waiting still to hear from Realm Jumper. Go ahead.
Oh, what's up, guys? Hope you guys are having a good night. Yeah, so I kind of jumped in a little bit late on this call, so I'm not sure if you guys have kind of already discussed this. And before, also quickly to Buzz's point about being a personal analyst, I think that is something that has to be highlighted. I'm part of a trading group, and I think bouncing ideas off of one another is great, but maintaining your own personal opinion and your own strategy is 100% the way to go. Like if you're talking with someone that you trade alongside with every day and they have a different opinion of you, then I think it's really important to be able to stick to your own thesis no matter what. But,
It's also important though to confirm bias, because sometimes my bearish friends, right? Because I am a bull, right? But sometimes my bearish friends will they talk some sense into me, and they've saved me a lot of money that doing that like though too. So just just use your head.
Or our bullish selves can be an issue as well. So you have to take that neutral bias where you're also looking at yourself and where there may be emotion or hopium and get caught. I've been in those stocks. I won't bash them anymore. But you get that hopium and that you have to always check the numbers and make sure the numbers are right. Make sure you're not wearing a foil hat or in some bullshit wrapped up and getting fed
What up,
something.
buddy?
You got to really step back and look at all the possibilities. You know, I come from the old school. Start big.
Having some 2XO and
so the macro
hosting a space
for me, I just
on
look at
TRKA.
you got to look at is float. What is the float? It should be a T-shirt.
Market cap. Barking.
Yes, it is. It's basically and that's
Buzz, I love
market
you, dude.
cap. But hold up. So when you look at why the stock market was invented, it was literally for the idea that take it away from the railroad owner and give it to the public and let them have a piece of the pie. They pay for a slice of the pie. Now the public has a say and they co-own the business. And the stock market was built on that. And what came from that was the idea of supply and demand. So if that retail environment demanded something, then that price rose. And that price was predatored by so many great, brilliant individuals. And then on top of it, now you have computers and bots and this attack. But that attack is based on liquidity. The liquidity is what fuels it. Unlike the electricity, it's the liquidity. They have a number, right? So when you look at this, you have to look at those where it's a run. It's over. It's overly shorted. Like fucking, they say it's 10, 20% on the market and 60% off. But if you look at the actual numbers of the failure to delivers, and you look at the actual shorts that are out on that stock, and you watch the daily shorts hour-to-hour chart to see what are being used and what are being put back, you can see the swing and you can see where it's heavy. Then you look at the trading volume and you look at the float. That's like the macro of what's going to move this thing. Is it going to take a fucking army, or is it going to take a few people that believe in this product? And that's the American stock market fighting now a beast of software, everything else, but it comes down to liquidity. And with retail,
not only liquidity though, barking, the fundamentals, brother.
Fundamentals, yeah, fundamentals.
If
the company's right.
That
the company, that's
exactly.
Macro. Fundamentals is its own macro. Is the company legit? Is the company thriving? Is the company turning a corner? Is the company have fucking positive growth in front of them? If they have the reins on that, that's an entire macro that swings the entire beginning of an idea for me to invest. Of course, there has to be, and it can't be a far-fledged idea. I love throwing money at good ideas and reached ideas, but far-fledged, or maybe it's a dying industry or something like that, that gets sketchy, and everybody should be careful and look at fundamentals as a macro approach to investing. Do I believe in this company? That's number one. Okay, and then you look at all those other fundamentals of numbers for it, size of the float, all of that, and the sentiment, and you can actually look at, is there going to be momentum? Volatility comes from that, being short on shares. We all know that. A small float will create volatility like we saw with GameStop, and that's why it's being compared to the level where if there are a lot of shares, they're going to be in question. Why are this volume 3 times the float every day consecutively? that's when the flag gets raised. And like we talked about with Neil's, by the way, going to be on Friday night, retired hedge fund owner, brilliant mind. He's like the Warren Buffett of this show on Friday nights. But he literally said they're shorting anything and everything. He laid out the rules of the land of what their approach is, and it's very obvious that when you have a low float like that, you push that pressure upwards, it gives them trouble in liquidity. And
that's on my YouTube, by the way. If you guys want to go back and listen to it, it's like 5 hours. Like, we had a great call. We had an awesome call. It's 5 hours. I don't know if you guys want to listen to it all. I enjoyed every single second of it, so that's up to you. But you guys can find that on my YouTube.
Yeah, I'll take a listen to that, because you're actually the first other trader I've heard mention the market cap. I find that
Wait! You're kidding me.
No, seriously. Like, I've since the beginning, like probably 6 months after I first like entered the market, like before I even like the moment I bought a stock, I always like intuitively knew the market cap was important, and I would tell people this, and people have hated on me for it. But the market cap to me is like one of the most like fundamental aspects of any ticker. Because
that is the number one fundamental aspect. What other creators are you watching? I'm sorry, I'm baffled right now, and I'm like kind of speechless. But like, what creators are you talking to?
If you're in a poker game, and you're looking out at the middle of that pot, okay, and you're at the river, and you're turning that card, that pot right there, that's the kitty, and the kitty is the cap. The cap is the ultimate weight of liquidity. That is the number that matters.
That's the share price.
That's the share. That affects the share price based off the float. You can do the math. Watch it grow. We went from 81 to 91. I think we're at 91 today. But there's going to be different numbers on different sites, because it's also self-reported when they want to adjust and play shenanigans and delay information because they want to buy a day or two to make moves. You have to.
One of my stocks just did that, dude.
Numbers.
Yo, bro, one of my stocks literally just did that. So it's funny that you said that.
Yeah, you got to cross-check all those numbers, because if you're going to one news source because it feels right, it looks right, go ahead and cross-check it. Check another news source, and you will find another angle, and you'll see a difference, and that will make you question mark what's really going on. When you see the difference in those numbers, and it's a long shot, some of them are so far off, and they call it a glitch, but it's not a glitch. It's what's reported to them by their paid reportees. So you know that someone knows something, and where there's smoke, there's fire. So when I see those glitches and I see those cross numbers changed up when it comes to an overly short stock with a small float, that fuckery alone is not sustainable. And that, to me, is another micro look at a stock where it's a great value, it deserves its value, but can it get it? Yes, it can, because it's a small float with big sentiment, and it's actually gaining revenue. So you have this, it's almost like an algebra equation for me, where you have X, Y, and that equals Z, and X and Y have to be in place. Like, these are the basics, and we all need to do our own research. We're not financial advisors. We're here to have a good time, have a drink, and just talk about what we're dealing with as holders in all of these different stocks. There's a lot of stocks. Retail's a little spread thin, but not too thin. Small floats, it doesn't take many. And when there's trends, like you see Twitter trending on TRKA, that was huge. That's huge. I mean, in the NFT space, where I played all of 2020 and 2021, I ran an NFT project that was everything. If your shit was trending, you were trending on all the boards, OceanSea, all of it. You're going to see, like, OpenSea is like the heart of the business now. And if you're trending on that, your floor is flying. So everything comes down to supply and demand. And that's why you got to look at float, and you got to look at the demand, and you got to look at, do people believe in this company? Does it have a future? And that's where I'm at with TRK. Anybody else want to come up?
Well, sorry, I kind of sidetracked the conversation. So I actually had a sort of a question with the topic. Because I saw it's the next GME, and it's probably a little bit of a clickbait or whatever, but that's
well,
fine.
no, it's because of an article. I did that because of an article that came out. It was shared to me by multiple people.
Investor Place, right?
Hours, and it was literally TRKA, the next GME, and it was an article basically breaking down Jeffries and all the connections and similarities between GameStop and TRKA. Now, I am one of those things like that gives me a red flag when I see the media behind it, like Breitbart, whatever it is, it's something, basic Bazinga, fucking Motley Fool. When I see that, I'm like, ooh, what's up? It's almost Jim Cramer kind of thing. So, but when you actually read it and you get into
What
it,
up, Steve?
nuts and bolts,
You're a little bit late, but no big deal.
It's almost like they're following the same formula, and you're now seeing it with Cosmos. You're seeing Cosmos is following the same filings, and who knows? You might turn around and realize that Jeffries is working with Cosmos. Jeffries is turning shit to gold. And if you're not following his program, he was GameStop. He was the one that facilitated all that stuff. And here he is again. So it's one of those things where if Jeffries got his finger in the cookie jar, I want to be in the cookie jar. I mean, it's some basic shit like that,
Yeah. All right. So basic fundamentals, right, and market theory. Now, again, this is not financial advice, but market theory dictates that no matter what GNS's offer is, TRKA either has to accept the offer, field another offer, or get their share price above that price. So until then, it's just ping pong, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So I just want to get off my question because it's So the topic I kind of wanted to talk about, right, is since GME, the market brokers and the market makers and all these
You're gonna have to Google everything, brother.
Smartened up, right? That was a sort of a once in
a
generation type move for GME, right? I think the last time you saw something like that was Volkswagen. But my thing with the brokers, right, and we saw this with COSM, where brokers have a huge hold on retail's sort of authority within the market. And I was looking, I've been trading on Webull recently, but I was looking at the Robinhood broker, and I was looking at the buys, right? And they took away the direct buy button, and they put a buy limit, and maybe they just redefined what they were doing, and that's fine or whatever. But what are your thoughts in regards to the broker's role within plays like TRKA or like COSM or like GME or AMC, if you even want to throw that one in there?
So we're one of the few countries that actually allows payment for order flow, and basically everybody that's moving your shares that you're calling are taking a penny up, penny down, sometimes upwards to 10 cents. They're ladder attacking it at the same time to make sure to get an even better price. That's why if you look at, like, I trade on 3 different things, and I have a 4th that holds long-term shit, but my 3, I'm playing your everyday tickers and stuff. And when you look at that, you can see how they put it through. So for instance, TD Ameritrade is one I use, and you can clearly mark it's a market trade. It's for the market value. It's on the lit market. It's my share, and you have sharing off on your stock. You own it. You hold it. No one can share it. That's TD. I also use Robinhood. Robinhood's a little wilder because Robinhood is the retail. I always, Robinhood, it's like the retail, like predator, right? At the same time, you can make your money, but they're going to get a cut. It's like working with the mafia. You're going to make more money working with the mafia, but you're going to get a big cut taken. But you're going to make more. It's kind of like someone told me early on in investing, don't worry about the taxes. If you're paying a lot of taxes, it's because you made a lot of fucking money. So people always worry about taxes. Well, if I pull it on capital gains, listen, if you're paying that capital gains, you made a lot of money. And that's capital gains. It's big gains, and that's what that's kind of the deal. So for me, when I look at these like this, this situation with the recently with SEC and coming out saying that they're gonna change the whole protocol of the stock market, it's to eliminate this whole naked shorting that's been going on for 100 years. And if you look at Troika, there is so many shares short on FTDs and all that. If you add that up, you actually put the amount of shares out there that are trading, and then look at the float. And the float's in question because people are using sources like, your basic avenues, your basic bazingas. They get their information. Fintel,
Yo, Barking, 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I did just drop in the nest lit trading just on public. It's just my referral link because you were talking about them obviously front running. So there's public if you want it.
Yeah, well, it's PFOF, bro, and it's how our market thrives, and they pay.
Not on public though. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and OTC, people talk OTC trades. If you're coming in with small money on OTC, most of them won't trade it, and the ones that do trade it are gonna charge you in and out. So like TD Ameritrade's $6.95. It's $6.95 to trade OTC in and out. Well, if you think about OTC, a lot of those are penny plays. So if you're paying $6.95, okay, 695 pennies, like you're paying a lot of pennies on a penny stock, and that's how they make their money there, because they know you can get in those, and there's the less rules, there's less halts, there's all kinds of shit. OTC is the Wild West, and so they make the in and out. So the payment for order flow and the payment for trade is how the nature works of the beast, and they use that money against us, along with stealing premiums from option chains, and that's another conversation. But payment for order flow.
Wait. But barking. You brought it up. Can we just talk about the COSM chain opening up real quick? How fucked up is that?
Dude, that made me so worried.
It's gonna be a lot of added liquidity, and we're gonna have to pay attention to like the order flows heavy.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna get wild right now. So basically, we talked about we're worried about the options chain because it can create all that stealing premiums. It's one of those things where I didn't want it. It's like with muln. Muln was $2.50 forever. And then when they dropped it 50 cents, when it was right around there playing at like 25, 30 cents, I went, here we go. It's the same thing with AMC. There's so many where the options chain can work for you, but they've mastered it where they can actually naked ladder it, wash sale that share price down, and put that out of the money, and then steal that premium and use that to short the stock itself.
Wait till you guys hear Neil talk, because like the Barking is doing a great job explaining this, but like Neil has had experience running a hedge fund. When he explains some of this stuff to you guys are gonna understand how grimy they get.
Are you aware of VWAP Trader 1 on Twitter?
No, I don't know who that is.
He was actually a former market maker, and he talks about all this stuff, and he actually. One of the things he talks about, for example, is that GME and AMC were actually run up by market makers. They did that on purpose, and he theorizes or speculates that somewhere around the $40 to $60 mark, market makers lost control of the order flow, and that's why you saw a massive squeeze.
Then it would be completely political.
Political in what sense?
Political in the sense that as soon as a president got in office, then then they showed them that they don't even know how to run the financial system. And I don't want to get political. I'm literally on YouTube right now, and like I don't want to push people away. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
I'm kind of neutral, just so everybody knows. For economics, I'm to the right. For social issues, I don't give a fuck. Whatever makes you happy makes you happy. Like that's just how I am. So I don't want to push anyone away. That's how I am as a person.
I just wanted to mention that because, see, my thing, market makers fascinate me, and I'll definitely take a listen to the Neil, the hedge fund guy, because I'm fascinated with order flows right now. I think order flows are probably one of the most important things in the market. I think that if you can sort of matrix see through the candles and all the BS that happens intraday and pick up on exactly what the order flow is doing and what.
How long have you been charting for? I could tell that like you've been trying to like understand it good just from the way you're talking. So like, how long have you been charting hard?
Charting hard, probably about 2.5 months. I've been
Okay.
day trading 5 months, and I've been fundamentally trading for about 4 years. Probably 3 months before GME happened.
Okay. So that's all I do on. Again, I hate to promote again, but that's all I do on my platform. And then I stare at blocks all day on whatever I'm hot on. Now, a lot of creators like they get big, in my opinion, from just chasing charts around on whatever's like the trending topic. What I like to do is I like to master a chart and then like execute it to almost perfection rather than chase things around. So we're like a tight knit family, though. You know what I mean? So come hang out and see what we're about if you're about TA.
Yeah, no, how do you say? The people I trade with, they've shown me your channel. Like I've kind of popped in and out every once in a while. So
Facts.
But yeah, no. So but for like TRKA, essentially because I got into TRKA. I still remember the date because I was kind of poking fun at one of my people that I trade with in the group. That I got in like early December. I got in like really early, and I was trading it when it was like 10, 9 cents, 11 cents, kind of around there, swing trading it, and then it started moving up, and then when it started running up to like it hit the day, and then it got smashed down, and I kind of lost my I kind of just like had to step away. Like I still walked away in the green, but it was just the way that it kind of happened was like.
Can I tell you something without you kicking yourself in the ass? An hour, so an hour before it dropped, right? I said, watch out that this doesn't get too heavy.
Wait, say that again, sorry.
An hour before TRKA dropped, right? I said, watch out that this doesn't get too heavy, because it was just really, really hot. And I didn't even play it on the way up, to be quite honest. All right, so I like all clarity with everyone here. I did not take it on the way up because I had people in my community buying it at like 11 cents and 12 cents. So I felt like I was late. And then when it dropped, I knew a lot about it because of fundamentals and all that stuff and all the research I had done for them. That's when I started to load, is when it started to, bottom out. So I didn't even catch the first run. I'm just catching the second run here. But this time I'm buying it because there's fundamentals, there's catalysts, like it fits my criteria.
Hey, I want to touch on that little aspect there, what you just said, because I appreciate your honesty and I love it. And I just want to say, there's people out there, we know Clown Girl. I call her that. That's not her real name. I don't want to get into it and like point fingers and like, but I use a fake
That's
name.
you?
Clown Girl.
Wait.
Calling me out saying I'm a pumper and I bought it 5, 6, 7
Do you follow me?
Listen, I caught TRK on the downside from 90
Retweet my stuff,
cents. I caught it at 63 cents was my original buy, just as a side little buy. And then I started doing my research. And then it went to 40 and I bought some more. And then it went to 30 something, bought some more. And as I researched and did the numbers, I went, oh, this is a speed bump. This is with the first time when, GameStop and AMC got their bump in January and they took the buy button away. This just put it on blast and put a bunch of FTDs into the mix and just started, and more martyr came into play where it was like, no, fuck that. This deserves a 5x minimum value. And so with that, I was like, let's go. And I kept buying and buying and buying, and now I'm green. It took me forever. I swear they weren't even giving me legit board, and I was breaking the math down myself. It took me a while to bring it down, and now I'm way down in my cost, and now I'm green. So, but is this the value? No. All along, I knew the value was higher than 63 cents, and that's why I bought it all the way down.
We have a gold cross on
and
ETH.
That's why I buy the pullbacks. People go, why would you buy today at 24 cents when you could have bought yesterday at 23? I was like, I bought yesterday at 23, and I bought today at 24. Because if you're looking at a stock that you feel is 3x under, what does the difference between 1 cent, 2 cent when you're doing something to support the supply and the demand? man. So I'm buying throughout the day. I'm not just going all in and then watching. I'm buying throughout the day when I catch pullbacks, or if it's going to surprise me and go to cup and handle, whatever it's going to do, I'm gonna try to take advantage of that and leave bullets so I can take advantage of that. And that's what I've done. And now I'm sitting on a fucking big pillow, and I'm like, okay, let's go. I still feel the same, and I'm still convicted. And I was not a pumper at 7 cents. I wish I would buy more. I would have bought up. I would have averaged up because of just basically what I learned over time learning about TRK. So I'm not some
barking.
pumper.
Yo, if anybody ever calls you a pumper, if anybody ever calls, if anybody,
girl started that.
okay, well, but if anybody ever calls you a pumper ever again, all you have to do is just tell them to look at the GNS offer price when it comes out.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
By the way,
it comes
sorry.
down to,
But I'm gonna quick shout out to Steve Raven. Steve's listening in the back. Quick shout out to him, TRK Daddy. He's been on it all.
My boy.
From the beginning, TRK. Shout out to Steve Raven. Anyways, guys, have a good night. I'm taking up way too much space here.
Steve's my boy.
I'll be listening in the background.
Right on, bro.
I do want to shout out Steve. Steve actually took remote access of my computer the other day and literally just cleaned the ever living piss out of it. I have a main desktop that I try not to stream on, and then I stream on a separate laptop with my other 3 screens. So Steve was able to hop right onto my laptop and clean everything out. So without Steve, honestly, I wouldn't have been able to last the last 2 days. So thank you again, Steve.
Oh yeah, right on, Steve. Anybody else got anything? Come on, get on up here. We got a good. I'm surprised the aliens haven't got here yet, Josh. What's up, Battle? I see you down there. If you want to come up, come on up, hang out. If you're having a drink at your house, you don't have to be in a perfect setting. I'm not in my office right now. I'm out here having a cocktail. Jump up here. Put your hand up. If you got questions, we're excited about tomorrow. We threw this one together tonight just because we're in the middle of a very, very wild week coming off of the end of last week and then now the momentum of this week, and they tried to go even deeper on shorts, and we watched it happen.
Steve's a dog. Welcome to chat, though, by the way, Striving.
And all of a sudden, we have this bury them. And if you zoom out to just look at the 1 day and the 1 month, they're the same trajectory. The 1 day and the 1 month are the same. You look at these charts. I mean, when in doubt, zoom out. Charts don't lie. Look at the past trajectory and look at how the layout of this trajectory is. You can all jump on your phone and look right now.
Yo, actually look at XRP since you just I just pulled it up just for shits and giggles, and you said pull out your phone. Yo, just look at XRP and the higher lows that it's creating.
Yeah, higher lows. That's what it's about. Higher lows, build support, and that's what TRK is doing. And I will look at XRP. I know XRP is. I'll tell you about XRP. You know, people are degens with a lot of crypto, and they're like, we don't want anybody to regulate this. Well, let me tell you, there are rules when it comes to the big money where it can go. And we're talking pension money that's held by these hedge funds. We're talking trillions of dollars. There are rules that they can't invest that teacher and fireman's money into the crypto. They can do it in the stock market. They can't do it in crypto because it's not regulated. Well, guess what? Crypto, when they regulate it, they're going to regulate the flow. It's global. They can't control the price. It's global currency. But they can regulate it, sure. And what ends up happening is now you're allowed to put that $9 trillion into it, and you're going to watch numbers like on Bitcoin, especially number one, and then you have ETH and all that, and then it breaks down into all your stable coins. They're going to get a big push, which is going to support the NFT world that's going to come back. That all comes off regulation. And if you look at stocks, they're regulating them, but are they really regulating them? So they just want to be able to get in. Of course, there's going to be the same game. They're already shorting fucking crypto. I mean, that game's already there. So the
barking.
Well just accept it, you know.
Yeah, as far as crypto goes, right? ISO compliance, in my opinion, is very, very important. There's actually a company it's a crypto by the name of XDC. They actually have a partnership with a NASDAQ. I put out a video in December on AI, C3 AI, and
I'm invested in that, my friend.
and XDC. Yeah, we did fucking awesome on that, bro. Anyways, I hit that in Coinbase almost the same time, dude. It was crazy. But anyways, yeah. So check out ISO compliant coins. My favorite personally are XDC, XRP, and Quant at the moment. And then as far as like a hedge to Ethereum's like I do have some ETH, right? But as like a hedge to it, I have a shit ton of Polygon because I really like things that I can compound interest on, and I could compound interest at a high rate on Polygon. So I do have a good amount of Polygon. I have some Cardano just in case. There's a lot of things that I have like just in case. I have some, but I really like XRP, XTC, and Quant just because of what they're designed exactly to do. And with the ISO compliance, they're designed to be plug and play directly into the Swift banking system. So even if they want to go ahead and digitalize like the stock market, XDC already has the first mover's advantage.
Nice. Yeah, I can't wait till we get back and get that bull run going.
Off TRKA as news as soon as it comes up.
When that happens, you're gonna have the FOMO paired with hedge funds, with pension money, all running after crypto. So they're
all going to need to rebrand too.
Yeah, and hats off. I just want to say hats off to anybody trading crypto over the last 9 months. God bless you. I have to tell you, I got out of Polygon at almost $3. I got out of a bunch of things on their way down, and we're talking probably 10, 12 months ago, maybe a year, and it was literally where I saw all the liquidation. I saw the Fed starting to raise rates. I saw and the regulators were fucking talking shit left and right. The Gary Gensers of the world were all about crypto. They still are. He'll go out and arrest a fucking crypto farmer in Guatemala. It's, his whole production's worth $4.5 million, and then post it on Twitter and say, hey, there's fucking guy. He was fucking farming illegally. Fuck you, Gary. Look at your market that you're supposed to be policing. It's almost like this whole wag the dog thing we're seeing daily, and it all comes from crypto being the Wild West, and it gives them that focus. When regulation goes through, what's the problem? You have full regulation. Why are you not regulating the same way you regulate the other? And you'll see that. And it's wild to watch the different personalities.
Yo, breaking news, Barking. Breaking news. GNS just responded to me, right? And they said definitely down for the Space Friday night.
Oh my God. Mother of God. GNS let me tell you, I love GNS. GNS I was in on before even knew about TRKA. I was talking to a few guys and trying to tell them come over to our party on Spaces to talk Cosmos and GNS. These guys are like, oh yeah, I'm down to come over and check it out. I'm TRK all the way. And I was like, that's when I started looking into it, and it made like a 3-day climb to 90-something cents. I was like, fuck, I got to get in and see what's going on here. And I caught the down, but it's only the first run. It was only, so that's dope. I love it. I love it. GNS Friday night. Y'all heard it here first. I'm gonna buy some more. Go ahead, Josh. Josh is in the house, and then Lucky, you're up. Let's go, Josh.
What's up, Bob?
How we doing, baby?
I just thought I'd chime in. You know me, I'm not necessarily a TRKA holder, but I'm in the group with the COMS crowd and just listening in, because what I really appreciate what you guys are doing and bringing retail together, talking about these topics, because they're all kind of intertwined. They're different tickers, but they're all the same fundamentals and catalysts and everything going on. Watching, they just have a lot of commonality, and so I do appreciate what you guys are doing. So I'm just here hanging out with my battle spider and Buzz, but it was just a couple of topics that were touched on tonight, just more comments than questions. Striving was talking about different brokerages and how payment for order flow and all of that. See, just for clarity, I'm a newbie here. I'm the newbie that always comes up and talks. But just me personally, keep your eyes open. If you guys pay attention, you will notice these things that these guys are talking about. Just examples, like I'm a big COSM holder. I use Webull as my primary account. I mean, I've noticed little things like I'll put in a market order because I know it's going to drop. Shorts are doing their thing, and market makers. And
can I ask you something without being rude?
Yeah.
So if you put in a market order, right, you're feeding the machine almost. Not financial advice, right? But if you say that you think it's going to go lower, right, you're giving them money towards payment for order flow by just doing a market order. And I don't want to mean any offense, but I just think it's important that obviously we set our prices where we want to set our prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that, and it's obvious when I put a market order and they can see it, but. Just the interesting thing is you put a market order in, say, Cosmos. I put a market order in for $3.35.
Thank you, Bodie.
And I'll notice it'll wick by me 2 or 3 times, not fill my order. And I look down at my level 2, and I'm like, okay, well, that just popped through. I got 50 shares sitting there, and an order was just filled for 100, apparently. Wick by me a couple of times, and then maybe finally it'll fill. Other things that I notice when it does fill is, if I'm at $1 or $3.30 and it fills my order and now it's at $3.29, $3.28. So they're scalping somehow in there. It's obvious.
They're playing the market both ways. Just watch the COSM option chain, because I'm also a large COSM holder. Okay, watch the COSM option chain. If it loads up with calls or puts, that's going to tell something. I can't say what it's going to tell because I'm not a financial advisor and I hate having to fucking say that repeatedly. I'm sorry, guys. But it will tell you the kind of, the tale in some aspects.
And for those that weren't there last Friday night when Neil was talking, which was a
what up, brother?
Phenomenal evening. That's why it lasted for hours.
Neil's on the train.
I still find it the most interesting thing about when he was talking about the share lending. So like Webull, you've got the option to uncheck or check the box that says I want my shares available to be lended out. He basically kind of said, and I didn't get 100% clarification, but he basically said they're going to lend them out anyways. So it kind of just was like, well, do I just check the box?
Yeah, and that's all the big ones as well. TD Ameritrade. Yep.
Yeah, but do you just, if they're going to pay you 2% on loaning your shares out, might as well just check the box, take the 2%.
Whoa. That's dangerous because now you're shooting yourself in the foot. If you want a stock to go up, why the hell are you going to go ahead and loan those same exact shares to short you? That sounds very, very hypocritical. I don't mean to insult you.
What it is.
That's what I was saying. That Neil was kind of suggesting that if I uncheck the box, they're still loaning them out anyways.
They might be, but then it's illegal.
Yeah. At least you're allowing dig a deeper hole, and raise flags. And so I'm with you on that. Just if you can set it as unshareable, let them, and all good things come to an end. So they've been riding high on that for a bit, and it's going to get cleaned up. It's only a matter of time. It's only what matters for the market, because why would the market think that making X percent was worth it if they knew that someone else was making 10X percent and they were doing it off of the back, scalping everybody? If they had any control and any power, I don't care if you're SEC, you're DOJ, whoever you are, you're going to look at it like whether it's morally or it's just rich man eating rich man.
No, if you lend, you may not get them back in time. Well, but
it's only a matter of time.
I'm talking about the ability to loan even if you can't locate.
Retail and Reddit and everything else, but it's only a matter of time, and that's where bullish markets come from. And these hedge funds get eaten alive left and right. You never hear about it. Never makes the news. They get devoured and they go away and they become family firms. It's on routine. There's new ones born every day. There's new ones dying every day. They take debt with them. The government steps in and covers the debt. There's insurance. There are steps along the way. But regardless, these fuckers, because they know they can burn the business, claim bankruptcy, bounce, and start a new one. So you have to know the first time, look at history, it repeats itself. Look at the way the recession ended. There wasn't a pandemic, but there was a subprime mortgage fucking crisis, and that fucking rocked the market. Same gas prices. People are like, I've never paid $5. I'm like, it was $5.50 during the whole fucking recession. $5.50 from 2005 to 2008 a gallon out here in Cali. So yeah, it's $5.50 and it's 22. You know, last year. So you have to look at it like history repeats itself, and we're in that scenario where there are going, besides Silicon Valley Bank and besides Credit Suisse.
Can I touch on that? So if you have a lot of money, just generally, I'm talking to everyone here, okay? Look into SIPC insurance. It's different than FDIC insurance, okay? It's more for brokerages. Again, that's Sam, Indigo, Pacific, Charlie, SIPC insurance. It just has different aspects other than FDIC. But Lucky has had his hand up for quite a minute, so let's just go to him and then we could touch back.
Let's do it. Let's go, Lucky.
I'll be honest with you. I've been just speechless. Buzz, did you say? And I gotta confirm this though. Who GNS? I know you guys were able to like DM each other, but did you say that they are interested in joining a space for Friday that's on TRKA?
Yes, they just messaged me and confirmed that they will be there on Friday.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's what I do.
Let's go. That is so insane. They have been, their social media person obviously has been playing all these fun games.
Yo, help me out. Yo, to be honest, to be straight up with you guys, social media, I don't pay for ads, so my shit gets buried. Like, for instance, today one of my subscribers said that he caught 2 commercials when I didn't even press the commercial button, and then he got routed to a Meet Kevin stream, right? So they're screwing with my algos straight up. If you guys could help blow me up, that would be dope, and I would appreciate that ever-living shit out of you.
Yeah, guys. Buzz is out there on YouTube. Shoot him a sub, and then while you're at it, if you're on here, you're not following, shoot Buzz a follow. He's always coming on here with lots of passion, brings some great people to the table. Warren Buffett, who I call him Warren Buffett. Neil, who owned a hedge fund. He's retired. He's an old timer with so much fucking wisdom. I have so much respect for that man, and he is a vet. He's a pilot. He's a fucking Army Ranger. This guy's a fucking G. And he was on last week, and this is pre the whole run and this week and everything. He was on, and we talked shop on everything. And
now his friends are interested. Now his friends got interested. I just want to go ahead and say that.
Yeah. So Buzz is out there shaking hands, kissing babies, and bringing some great talent to the show. And you guys are all a part of this. I've seen a repeated. You're all welcome. Everybody in this is a forum. This is a fucking house call. This is a fucking town hall meeting. Get up here, say your bit, say something, talk to us, give us an answer, talk about something you're worried about. Let's get it out there. This is, this is retail, having a good time, having a drink, hanging out. This is not financial advice. This is all opinion. This is all support room for anybody that's an investor in a company that's shared investing. It's okay to love that company, support the fundamentals, support what you believe in, and come up. I mean, anybody out there. I've seen so many of these guys coming back every week. I want to hear from you. Michael, I see you out there. We still got the hood of that car open. You ever get that thing running, bro? I want to hear you up here. Come on, Michael. Join it. Join the party. We're all here.
I do also want to say that I did go ahead and I did message GNS back, and I said that we are also having a current like a pre-Friday space right now. I don't know how much longer we're going to be running it, so they may join at some point. I just threw it out there.
I would guess that they
there's probably a good chance that they were already in here. Number one. Number two, I'd also recommend getting permission to share that information publicly, just so that you can blow that up. You guys hit 100 at some point tonight on this call. You could definitely get a few hundred or 1,000 if they say they support you blasting that out. I would think.
I agree. I agree with that. It's
they can't make a public statement to somebody like me who puts information out for a living, right? They can't make public information like that unless they're gonna do it.
But yeah, I can.
It's pretty interesting just the way they danced around so much of this. But they are their social media is allowed to announce things, and they are officially public.
They are actually in the group as we speak.
Well, there you go. You found them.
Hello, GNS. I'm very supportive of your cause.
GNS. Welcome to the party.
The GNS also had just put out a tweet announcing the investor call.
I can't wait for any update that they give. I love every single update that they give, and my followers are pretty deep.
Massive props
for being in the house, and shout out to everybody that's a GNS holder. Roger's been fighting, he sees it. And by the way, CEOs have a lot of guidelines to follow, and he knows how to be smart and not get caught up in bullshit. And it's a basic law of the land with executives. So for all those that feel like tweeting out on a bad day, hey, speak up, hang tight. He's on the back end, handling fundamentals, doing his job, and have faith. And I just want to thank GNS if they're in the house. Up, anybody wants to come up talk, but Michael.
GNS is actually a speaker. Yeah, guys. GNS is actually a speaker here. Let's let GNS share their thoughts, and let's go from there.
Just to echo what Mr. Barkley Spider was saying, Roger's a really busy guy. I believe he's been on 5 continents this year, just trying to move the message, do everything that he can. But what I can say to you guys is, like, he's doing everything in his power to do the right thing here. And these things don't really happen overnight. So trust that, like, Roger is a leader that will always, like, care about, like, everyone involved, everyone close to him, everyone far from him. Roger's, like, just that type of guy. He's going to take care of everyone, and an incredible leader, incredibly brilliant, intelligent human being. I think he went to Cambridge University. I'm not sure, Trinity College at Cambridge University, something like that. I'm just, like, not really sure what, like, we want to follow the rules completely. We're here to, like, kind of change the rules.
Hey, Dana.
And Roger's, like, doing his absolute best. So, like, a lot of the replies that kind of, we're seeing as a team are like, oh, what happened today? Or what happened that day? Or why are we this? Or, hey, like, I lost this. Or, hey, I made this. Like, it's a day-to-day thing that doesn't really, like, I'm not going to say it doesn't concern us, but it's more like we're here for the long term. Our long-term mission is education. When you look around the world and see, like, what's lacking, what can be improved, and what has to be improved, it's education. And that's, like, a fundamental principle that we are providing people. So, like, basically, the long story short is, and what I can say is, like, what Roger said, if you're here to make a quick buck and turn around, like, okay, you might be upset on Tuesday and happy on Thursday, or happy on Wednesday and angry next Monday. Like, okay. That's fine. But what we really care about is, like, our mission, and we think that that's what's going to be the ultimate driver of this train.
Sir, can I ask?
A big block tomorrow.
Can I ask what your name is, sir?
Yeah, I'm Anton. I'm in charge of brand at Genius.
Awesome, Anton. So, what I went ahead and what I DM'd you. I'm a very serious individual. So I do just want to go ahead and just throw that out there. And I believe in the cause of just creating a clear market. So just wanted to
Yeah.
throw that out there on the table.
I totally appreciate that, and like I said, I created an Eventbrite, like shared a memo. I'm going to be siphoning these questions to Roger. Like obviously, like I'm not totally sure. Like I'm not investor relations, therefore I'm not totally sure what he can and can't answer. But definitely getting them in front of him, we can do. And to be honest, he's saying as much as he can possibly say. Like you guys don't.
I could
understand,
filter
like,
them, Anton.
Excuse me.
I could filter them if it makes it easier for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a few of those as well, but like I kind of want to hear what everyone's saying, to be honest. And we're listening to what everyone's saying. I have a pretty like decent sized team as well, so we're monitoring everything. But like the long and short of it is like we're here to stay and we're here to change the world. And because of Naked Shorts, we're going to change the world in more ways than one. So I'm just like really excited to be a part of this. Like this is kind of like a revolutionary time. As you guys can see, like technology is changing the way a lot of other things move, but it hasn't caught up to Wall Street for some reason. Kind of perplexing. I was born and raised in New York City, and it's been the same sort of same shenanigans like since the 80s. Nothing has really changed, but what Roger's doing is like leading like a revolution, and like just having trust in him, or like just listening to the words that he says or what he's doing. It's so empowering to see how much like we can do as society to better ourselves and everyone else around us. So yeah, like I appreciate all of you guys being part of the community, supporting. Like every like counts, every follow counts, every comment, like it validates like our work, validates like your guys' voices.
Thanks for communicating with us, though, Genius or Anton. Like
Yeah.
you guys communicating with us made the entire difference.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, he's just like the dude is like he's really has a vision that he wants to
18
leave an
hours,
impact
Bodie?
on this
Jeez.
world. Like he really wants to change the world, and
GNS is
his,
in the
like,
call.
mission
That's right.
is powered by us, like people like you guys and people like me, who believe in this individual, and trust like is the most important factor, right? Like his integrity. Like one of the first things he taught me was, as an individual, integrity cannot be partially compromised, right? Like Roger's integrity cannot be partially compromised. You have integrity or you don't. It can't be partially compromised. And Roger's one of those guys that, like, I tell you, Roger's one of those guys whose integrity will never be compromised. And like you don't see that very, very often in a leader, in a person of power, in a person with like as much influence as he has. Like his integrity is everything. His word is his bond, and all I gotta say is like I'm really, really excited for what's to come.
Hey, Anton, is there any way that you could go ahead and that you could follow me back? That way I have a little bit more credibility when I'm talking about you guys.
I think it's done. I love it. I love it. Hey, for anybody just tuning in, we got Anton out here from Genius Brands. He's got good info for us tonight. If you guys got questions, come on up. Keep it respectful, and obviously he's got guidelines to follow. But yeah, come on up. It's Genius in the house, GNS holders. You got first dibs. Come on up. Anybody who's got anything to say, go ahead and striving.
All right. This isn't really a question. It's just more kind of a statement. So you were talking about New York and how things haven't really changed in the market. And I'm part Dutch, and I'm sure you've probably done your research on the stock market, and you know that the modern stock market was invented in the Netherlands. It's one of the reasons I love the stock market. It's kind of like a home nation type thing, or like like I'm an immigrant and all that stuff. So I just want to quickly tell you guys, and you specifically as well, Roger Hamilton, and even to the shareholders as well. I just want to say, like, thank you guys. Like, if you look at the history of the stock market, the beginning of it was meant for the development of society and the economy, and helping people become or go from poor to middle income to one day possibly rich. And your message about integrity, and by the actions you have shown, not only Wall Street and the stock market, but as well as just retail traders in general, I just want to say like a quick thank you for that. It gives me a lot of hope in the stock market, as well as kind of just in the future for how we conduct business in this country and in the economy. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, man. And like, I'm not like poo-pooing the entire stock market. Well, like maybe I was, but like Rotterdam is, you know, it's the center. It was the center of trade for such a long time, and like it's commerce, right? Like everyone should have access to free commerce, and like the companies like what you were saying was exactly spot on. Like what you believe in, the companies that you believe in, the companies that are making a difference, the companies that are leading the revolution, like leading the world. That's what we really care about. Like that's what we're going for. We're not going. There are no small goals here. You know, Roger says that like you think about what you can do in a day, and you kind of overestimate it. You think about what you can do in a week, you kind of overestimate it. But in a year, you always underestimate it. So like that's kind of going back on the message that I was like trying to convey, that maybe in a day, maybe in a week, like you can guess. But like in a year, you're always going to underestimate what you're capable of, like who you will become a year from today. I'm so fortunate to be a part of this mission, because this is something that's like way bigger.
We lost Anton. Anton, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I actually have a question for you, if that's okay. And you know, this could be completely off the record, right? And you might, if you can't answer it, just say I can't answer it, and then we'll be on to the next topic, okay? But in your personal experience, not you know, as like a you know, working for the company, how dope are the resorts?
My God. I've only been to one, honestly, the one in Bali, and I was kind of blown away at like how much meaning is crafted into like each like blade of grass, like legit, like each blade of grass like was thought about. You know, when you're taking a shower outdoors, it's like you're walking from your room in the villa to the shower, which is kind of like indoors, outdoors, and like the menu is like, I don't remember what it was, but it was like a local monkfish, I think, probably not monkfish, but like on top of like this pureed green sauce that was delicious, on top of like mashed potatoes that are locally sourced. Like it's through and through, you know, like you're never gonna find like a McDonald's hamburger. No offense to McDonald's, not financial advice to McDonald's, you know, whatever. You're never gonna find that like with us, you know. It's never gonna be anything like Roger's never gonna like half-ass it. Like
you know how you know how you say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. What you just said is worth 1,000,000.
What does that mean? I hope I didn't say. I hope not, because like I'm not really. I don't know.
No. I asked for your personal experience. You gave me your personal experience, and no more, no less. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I was blown away by it. I have a 1-year-old son, and you know, leaving him was a really difficult decision at the time. My wife is like, you know, going through it. He just starting to sleep through the night, and I had to go to Bali. And when I got there, it was like my life has never changed so much from just like conversations with him, just learning from him. I asked if I can record it, and like I recorded every single conversation I had with him.
Heck yeah, Barb.
Was, and like his time
Fam
is so
life.
Precious. That like
Yo, you guys gotta get in V2 chat.
To, like, step up, and, like,
straight
have
up.
Conversations, join a community, join a conversation like this, because like Rogers again,
it's
like 5 content,
non-stop talk,
3 months,
and me being active.
He like I have access to his calendar. He's like quadruple booked at times, and he's never late. You know, he's not late. I mean, like he will be a minute or 3 late, but like he's himself, like at his best at all times. And like that includes having fun, man. The dude like is a great time. Like I remember posting a video of him dancing at like the white party through a theme party, like just for fun, because like we've been cranking out ideas and doing these think tanks all day, and like it's like, okay, we're having a white party at the end of the week, and like it was dope. Like it was so much fun. Like drinks, dancing, like live music. There was like a saxophonist. There was like flamethrowers. It was like everything you can imagine Bali to be. And from LA, it was like 36 hours of travel, which was kind of tough, but highly, highly recommend it. It's like a really naturalistic experience. My favorite way to recommend it is as like a team building endeavor, kind of like you and your team, like you and your company are like trying to like discover something new or try to jump a hurdle. It's a really good place to like, you're close, you know, the villas are all like within proximity to one another, but like you also have your space. Each one has like a patio with a moat. Like it's insane. I've been to over 35 countries in my life, and there was nothing like this place.
Yeah. You know, I've actually, this is a quick personal question, and then I have a question for you. Do you guys ever do anything with Stenden, NHL Stenden in Leeuwarden in the Netherlands? Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay, well then never mind. But I do have it's a question directed at you. So we've heard Roger Hamilton's sort of story in regards to his fight against short sellers, but I was wondering if we could get your perspective on it personally. Again, if you can't answer that question, that's fine, but I would love to hear from someone sort of behind the scenes that we don't get to see in front of camera whenever he does the live streams or he's on a Twitter space, kind of what your personal experience was in sort of the story and history of fighting the short sellers.
I mean, I'm not afraid to say this. Like, I have been in the past, and I guess you can look me up, so it's fine, whatever. I started my career by, like, writing. I was a writer. I went to Syracuse. And then I started posting stuff on Instagram for at NBA. I got a job at the NBA basketball and, you know, grew that following to 50 million. Unfortunately, though, they were paying you in, like, getting to meet Steph Curry and hang out with LeBron and, you know, flying all over the country. But so I kind of outgrew it. And how that relates to naked short selling is later on in my career, I got an offer I couldn't refuse to do social media for the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort.
Barbara, you're so polite. That's exactly what I like. I like everybody being polite. Fuck yeah.
Would ever think he is.
What a great community this is.
And it was overwhelming, and it was taxing, and my life was just like on edge at all times, personally, right? Like, I'm telling you a personal story. I was on edge at all times. And he was like this, like, glorified villain, right? You've all seen the movie, and he's kind of like proudly boasting about being a villain, and, you know, we told that story until it happens to you, right? Like, until he starts to become like a villain in your own personal story. In which case, like, you look for the opposite.
I was wrong about TRKA. You're at the, yeah, I'm talking to GNS like literally directly.
Yang, right? Like, I couldn't have gone.
I'm literally listening to the fucking guy that runs their social media.
Than joining Genius, because like everything that you can ever think of when you think of Jordan Belfort, if you think of the exact polar opposite, that's Roger Hamilton. It's insane. Like, charisma, power, attitude, like the way they use it, the way they treat people, the way they care for people. Polar opposites. But like both like incredibly intelligent. It's like, I don't know if you guys have listened to the One You Feed. It's a really cool podcast based on the premise of like which wolf grows the fastest. You have a good wolf and a bad wolf, and which one is the one that wins out in the end? It's like the answer is the one you feed. So
I followed it, read it, and 1,000% with you, brother. It's the one you feed, and that's why I always say in all these spaces calls for all you out there, think of politics like sports for me. Okay, we all don't need to have a pissing contest. When it comes to politics, I look at it like just that, and I say it's the one you feed. Let your feed come from your own research, your own TA, your own personal life, and everything that you can take in and appreciate, every little thing, versus the rhetoric that comes from the politics to try to divide and conquer. Always remember that, and that's why I'm always saying, hey, no politics. It literally comes down to, it's a team sport. And when it comes to it, I'm not in on that sport, because I look at it like our decisions, us, what matters to us is what we feed, and we can't let outside influences do anything to change that. This whole call, everything on here, everybody is sharing opinions. It's not financial advice. We're all just a bunch of guys sharing common ground, having a good time. We have some great guests tonight, and if you guys want, retweet the Jumbo board. Look up top. The Jumbo's got everything up there. There's a couple tweets out there from Buzz. Follow Buzz on Twitter. Follow him on his TA on YouTube. But yeah, do your own, man. Feed your own wolf. And that's what this is all about. This is about a bunch of people feeding their own wolf. If you want to come up, talk about something, challenge something, tinfoil hat, I mean, we'll take it. We'll go down that road. But I love it, bro. Thanks for mentioning that. And by the way, guys, one more time, I got to say, we got GNS in the house. Anton's here to share some good knowledge and have some fun. Keep it respectful. Come up, ask questions, and retweet the board. Put it out there. These are great people that are sharing their own information, their own knowledge. Knowledge is power. I'm new to trading, and I've been a veteran to trading since 2014. But, it's one of those things you're always learning. And that's what intrigues me, like the wine industry. That's my day job. So
I still want to taste that barking.
Oh, I'm going to bring you up. If anybody wants to come out to Napa Valley, you DM me, and I'll set you up. We'll meet. I have no problem. I'm fully doxxed. I'm a United States Marine. I have high integrity. If you come with some weird shit, I'll go John Wick on your ass. But we are good friends. You come out, I'll take care of you. I'll host you. Anybody on here wants to come out to the Napa Valley, fishing pool's in the house. He was in and out, but he's a badass. His son carried the guide on. Battles in here. Josh knows. He carried the guide
Not
on.
advice. Never advice, Bodie.
And went presidential protection. We're a bunch of Marines out here living in Napa Valley, living off the good stuff. If you guys want to come out, I'll comp you. I'll get you hooked up at wineries, restaurants, and that's out of just friendship. This is, a bunch of people having a good time. We're not giving financial advice. We have a lot of evil in the world, a lot of people out there trying to wreck a party.
Speaking of financial advice, we will have Neil in the house on Friday. He did own his own hedge fund, so he has all of his certifications. He legally can give financial advice, but make sure that obviously he says that it's explicitly that. So we will have him on Friday as well. So it sounds like Friday's gonna be a great time.
Yep, and I'll tell you what, Neil is a vet. He's an Army dog. He's a Ranger. He's a pilot. He's a vet. He is an amazing guy with so much knowledge. He was a hedge fund owner. He's been there. He's our Warren Buffett. Yeah, I love listening to him because he's got so much knowledge, and he's very neutral. He will shit on your hopium. He will, and I respect him for it. He's very honest. He has no ego. It's like talking to Grandpa, getting good advice. And he'll be here, and we got, and no offense to him because he's a badass, but he's been there, done that, and it's worth a listen. And then we got hopefully Anton, ladies and gentlemen, we got Genius in the house. Anton's here. hopefully Anton comes back because we're gonna have Arca Bulls and Frank stopping by.
I did also message what's it called. I did talk to CEO Block, and I shot Roger a message just because, but I mean I doubt that he'll read it. But I didn't. I guess it was Anton that tagged me in a post with CEO Block and somebody else. So I also invited them to the call. I also invited TRKA's COO. So it may get interesting. I mean, we're gonna bounce ideas off of each other, and see what happens.
I love it. Let's go. Okay, we got Jim's been raising his hand. Lucky, go Jim, and then Lucky.
Hey, Anton, I just want to say thanks again for coming on the board tonight. I know there's probably obviously a lot you can't say, and anything you can't say, obviously don't. I'm just curious though. The social media account on Twitter, are you the guy that actually runs that, or is there somebody on your team?
That's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
I have a team that also helps. It's a huge company, but yeah, primarily it's me.
Right. So, lately we've been seeing a lot of those kind of posts about, information coming out and stuff like that. Obviously, you might not be able to say specifically what that is, but it appears to be hinting at kind of something, kind of the future of what either Genius is going to be doing or things that might relate to other things. Can you talk a little bit about any of that at all, or is that kind of off limits?
Obviously off limits. All I can say, honestly, hold on a sec. Uber Eats. Honestly, the only thing I could really say is
I want you win all the time.
I've gone the route.
I want you to win all the time.
Working for a check, which is like a missionary, right? Another Roger thing. I sound kind of like brainwashed, I guess, but he's just so that guy that it feels like you guys are the only people I can talk to about it because my wife can't hear it anymore.
Right.
She's just okay, I get it, you love the dude. No, baby, you don't understand. But yeah, so I don't know how to put it, but there's a mercenary and a missionary. A mercenary is, as Roger says it, mercenary is somebody that's there for a cause, and there's a missionary who's there for a mission. You guys are you guys have served in the military. I appreciate that more than you can imagine. And more than anything, I want to say thank you for your service to everyone who has served. That's not easy, and that takes a lot. So I really, really appreciate that personally. Bottom of my heart, thank you guys.
I mean, freedom, baby. What's the price tag, right?
What's the price tag? So we have these luxuries in life, and sometimes you're on a mission and you're a missionary, and you're just selling yourself out, and you know that you're doing it, and you know that it's not the right way to go, but you're still doing it because you need to do it. I need to, I need a job like the rest of you guys need a job.
I already did, Bodie. Not financial advice.
So there was Belfort, offering me something that, I didn't have. But, now, being in on this mission, seeing what this mission is, seeing what he can accomplish, seeing what we can accomplish together, that is, what keeps me up until 2 a.m. on a call in India tonight. That's what gets me up, on Friday morning for a call in the UK at 6 a.m. I am so, so excited about the future of this organization that, I don't know how to,
No, so it sounds great. You're very passionate.
Wait. Let me ask you this. Wait, because obviously you can't say things, right? Do you think that you're going to spend the rest of your career with GNS at the current moment? Do you feel that that kind of confidence?
Confident, yes.
Okay,
Beautiful.
that sums it up great. And without you, stepping over lines you can't step over.
Yeah, this is my life's work. This is my Mona Lisa. This is, I started at MBA on Instagram with a few others, was on the original team there. We decided to start posting stuff on this account called musical.ly. and it's just music added to highlights of Steph Curry, you know? Sounds cool. We pitched that up to the VP, and they were like, okay, fine, Anton, you guys can take a shot. That turned into TikTok. So, like, we were, like, one of the first users of TikTok. That was, like, my crowning achievement, you know?
Did you get any stock? I'm sorry to ask a personal question, but that's like a, like, I'm really, really interested. Did you get any stock in TikTok?
No.
Okay, all right. Sorry to ask a personal question, but, like, that was just up there, you know, you set me up for it.
No, what I meant was that we kind of, like, found TikTok. Like, we, like, discovered, like, my team and I, like, discovered TikTok as, like, this platform that could be something interesting way down the line, and then it turned into TikTok. So, like, that was, like, one of the things that I was, like, always really excited about. But, like, ever since, like, I joined
GNS is talking.
And, like, ever since, like, every moment that I've had with Roger, it's, like, every moment changes my life. Like, every moment is, like, a revolution. And I spend so much time, like you guys, like, trying to decipher, like, what he's doing, because, like, I know, like, I'm a chess player. I don't know if you guys play chess. Like, let's play chess if you guys do.
Oh yeah, I play chess.
Facts. Let's get it.
And, like, I know that Roger's always got, like, a move, like, ready to go.
Yeah, Bull. I brought him in here, dude. It's dope.
Here for my life, you know, like, I'm here forever, because I feel like we are going to play a pivotal role in the evolution of mankind. Period.
That's beautiful, Anton.
Anton, question: is there any chance that we get Roger on Friday?
No chance.
Is there a chance in the future, barring, you know, Friday being successful?
Possibly. I mean, that's kind of like why that's why I'm trying to, like, increase the amount that, like, social media matters to him. Like, obviously he cares about it. Like, he brought me on because, like, you know, I'm solid at it.
I mean, do your own DD, dog.
But, like, what really determines that is, like, how many numbers I can put in front of him. You know, like, he's still a data-driven guy. He's gonna make the best decision for the business, and, like, he has, like, limited time. Like, dude, I don't know how little he sleeps, but he doesn't sleep very much. I'll tell you that.
I have an idea for you. Here's what I could do. I could screenshot my impressions, right, before I do something with him on, say, YouTube, okay? And then I could screenshot them after, and then he could have a clear idea of how speaking to shareholders affects somebody. And that would be somebody that, you know, obviously supports him.
I understand that, and, like, shareholders are very important, but, like, I can't say too much. But, like,
Anton,
the world, yeah.
Spider here. We can talk offline about what.
I can't actually.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, we can talk offline when it comes to. Sorry about that. I was trying to bring somebody up and it just muted everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I accepted the person before you did.
Oh, okay. So basically, I meant talk offline as far as what if Roger wants to do an interview and, you know, talk about everything. Obviously, you know, bottom line is Roger's got guidelines. He's the CEO. I mean, he runs the show. He's got guidelines he has to follow, so we respect that. We would love to have him on, but we do. Obviously, he's got very professional guidelines, and that's what I meant about talk offline about, you know, legalities of what it would take to have a little Q&A with Roger. I mean, if it came down to it, you know, we can talk about, you know, sponsorship, whatever it may be. But we love you. We support you. Everybody that's in here has questions, so I want to get to some of these. We had Hollywood out here. We got Lucky's been waiting forever. Let's go Lucky, Dylan, Hollywood.
I was just about to name that, dude. Yeah, definitely Lucky, and then Dylan. My boy Dylan's down there, too.
Yeah, Lucky's up, and then we'll go Dylan and then Hollywood. But I want to get these guys up here. Anybody else has anything? Come up. We want you up here. Go ahead, Lucky.
Thank you guys for having this space. And Antoine, thank you for sharing what you are sharing. Jim actually hit a lot of the questions or thoughts I had in my mind, and this new campaign that you started on Thursday.
It's not. I don't like to call it a casino because I do everything by statistics.
If you can answer this, have every tweet since then been part of that campaign, part of that building up intrigue and interest?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, puzzle pieces, read between the lines. You know, just the theme, so to speak, that you put out a tweet and we're over analyzing, you know, every aspect of it.
He's not gonna be able to comment on that, homie. I don't want to put our boy in a tough spot and then have him not want to come on Friday.
Absolutely. If you can't answer that, absolutely nothing but respect. But the campaign that I've been watching and the stuff you put out has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to cryptic, guys, it's because, honestly, we read it as cryptic, but really it's just living within the guidelines, the legalities of tweeting out as a business, and we have to respect that. A lot of people are always saying, oh, fuck the CEO, he's not saying something, and I'm not saying GNS in particular, but everybody wants to jump the CEO. CEO and company has a lot of guidelines they have to follow, and when it comes to just tweeting out, they might want to play a little, have fun with their investors, or maybe they're just talking generally, or maybe we're overlooking it.
Yeah, but I just don't accept the terminology just because I don't want to end up on Capitol Hill, homie.
Guidelines, right? And it's not.
It's nothing against you. It's just the CYA policy is cover your ass.
You gotta let the guy catch
it's
the
just
ball.
how I live by. I'm sorry, homie.
Tackle him before he gets the fucking ball.
Nothing but love, though.
First. There are guidelines that the company has to follow that is unfortunate for all of us, that they can't just be all like, hey, by the way. So expect some expect some fucking actual guidelines, and you will understand that when you see something, you'll know how much to love that tweet. Even though it's not a pump tweet, it's not going against the SEC guidelines.
Much respect.
It's a try.
Just so you know about rules, I have a $5 rule. Just real quick, I have a $5 rule. If people talk to me like a wall without saying please and thank you, right? People owe me a $5 super chat in order to get Nortex. If they don't say, can I please have this Ortex? Just so you know.
But it's not about the fundamentals and the numbers.
It just I don't like to be talked to like a wall.
I mean,
it just
lawyers.
You know,
so
basic manners. That's all.
Remember that in a nutshell and be respectful. And you all are, but I'm just throwing it out there. Everybody's been good, but I mean, in a nutshell, there's laws we have to follow, and it's amazing to have Anton here tonight. And if you got anything,
Steve.
You want to talk about other stuff, throw it out there. If you guys have questions on stuff, we're here.
Hollywood's got a question. Well, no, Dylan. Dylan first. Dylan first. Yep.
All right, hey guys. Hey, I just wanted to kind of compliment what Anton was saying about Roger, because when I heard that there could be an acquisition, I was like, well, let me look up Roger, see what he's about, and just dig into everything so I can get kind of a grasp of who he is and would he even know what to do with a media company. And, you know, to my surprise, you know, I was getting that he has, you know, he has a lot of love for Elon Musk. And everyone here pretty much loves Elon Musk and, you know, his battle and, you know, everything that he's trying to do for us. But, you know, some kudos to Roger. I mean, the dude was like a leading wealth consultant in Asia. And you can tell by everything that Anton was saying that he kind of has that philosophy, kind of teach one, you know, each one kind of thing going on. And the dude was like a bestseller, you know, in the States and internationally. And what's really cool is the guy, I guess he built his own system based on roots of like Carl Jung for his entrepreneur stuff. So yeah, so that's really, and you know, because Troika was, you know, they deal specifically in branding, and if you know anything about branding, that's like ground zero for everything. If you can't get that right, nothing else pulls forward. And so, just knowing that, Roger loves the psychological, aspects of things, to push things forward, that just, man, that makes me feel warm and fuzzy because it helps them push, Genius Group over the bell curve. And I agree.
Yeah, thanks for that, Dylan. Real quick, Genius, and then I want to go to Hollywood. Genius, you again. This is like a if you say no comment, I'll take it as it is type question. But as it sits right now, right? How do you feel about the growth of the company at the rate that it's growing, right, over the next, let's say, handful of years? And I know that you're like obviously you might have a bias or but like realistically, like how many of these things have like straight up objectives in order to get achieved on the short term moving forward? Like you don't have to like specify, but like are we on the right track or like what are we thinking?
Guys, I have to jump, not because of the question, but more because of the topic of the spaces. Happy to join another one if it's a little different.
I got you. Yeah. I got you. I'll just be quiet about it. Anyways, we'll tag GNS next time too.
I really I haven't spoken on it, and I don't plan on speaking about it at all either.
Exactly.
But if you guys were to invite me on for space related to Genius, titled related to Genius, I mean, we have been talking about Genius the whole time, but Roger as well. But if we were to do a space like that, I'm happy to join.
Yeah, Anton, let me just add to that. Friday night, we do at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard, we do Stonks and Chill, and it's a general forum. It's not specific to a stock. The title tonight was specific to TRK because of the bananas of today and yesterday. But as far as Friday night, it's an open forum. We love GNS. We love that you came here tonight. We support you guys 1,000%. This is almost an open forum. We just put that title because there was an article written today yesterday that came out today that was basically comparing TRK to GameStop. So it drove a conversation, but it's not really the title of us all hanging out and having a good time. So
well, thank you, Samantha. I didn't think so either.
It's all tickers, and we're just having a good time, and there'll be GNS holders there.
A lot of GNS holders and a lot of because Neil's going to be there. I'm sure that some of his friends will be there too.
Sweet. If it's the name of it, I just accepted the invitation to,
and I'm asking you tough questions, bro. That like I understand joining a space late night. You may for you I don't know what time it is, but. Anyways, just joining a space randomly, you don't know exactly where you're gonna get asked, and I may have stepped over the line there. I do apologize, but obviously, you and I could talk off here, but let's go to Hollywood or something.
Yeah, hey Buzz, yeah, exactly. I want to go to Hollywood before Anton takes off. Go ahead, Hollywood.
Well, I was gonna say, why don't you just change the title now, if that's what's making him want to leave?
I mean, that works if he's up for it.
He gave a thumbs up.
There you go, Barking.
It's happening as we speak.
Let's go.
That's easy enough.
Yo, Anton, is that cool or what?
I'm not suggesting that, but if it were a Genius chat, maybe I can ask some of my colleagues that you may know or may not know to join.
That sounds that sounds like a great idea, man. Thank you very much for directing. It's the right idea.
And by the way, just to let you know, it's not being recorded.
It is. Remember at the beginning I gave the disclaimer.
That's right, you're live
I am. Yes.
How's that? That looks even better.
Mine still says the old thing.
Yeah,
Oh, now
I
does.
see it.
No, it just changed.
Yo, Barkin, can you look at my what's it called, my DM too?
You got it.
There you go. I just wanted to say regarding when you brought up having CEO Block come on Friday, I don't know if you're aware, CEO Block is holding a space call at 2:30 later today. So,
who is?
CEO Block is.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Hey,
there.
GNS.
It's at 2:30. I can post it in the nest if you want. I can share it.
Please do, Hollywood. Please do. It's genius.
Sure.
I actually have a question for you. You tagged me in a post with CEO Block. Was there any kind of meaning behind that?
Yo, can anybody hear anybody?
I got
heard
you.
Buzz.
I got you guys. I asked Genius a question. I don't know. I don't know if he's allowed to answer it or not.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find the. What?
Have
I'm
you ever
sorry.
heard the name T-Bird?
No.
Okay. Because you and T-Bird have like the same accent, same voice. It's crazy. She's on all the time on Friday nights, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh gosh, and people tell me Buzz would know. People tell me I sound like Dee. I don't know if she's still in here. She was in here earlier.
Where
You actually, I didn't even think about that, but now you do sound like D.
I'm also a former New Yorker in Florida, and I need to thank you for the entertainment. I'm sitting in my car now for 4 hours in a flooded parking lot because my little Fiat won't make it out with the engine intact. So this has been wonderful company. I'm gonna go look for the post. So I'm muting my mic.
I'm talking to a girl named Hollywood, and she sounds like D.
Yeah, anybody else want to come up? You're welcome to. She's going to get that situated. Hollywood will be back. If anybody has questions, want to come up, say something, join the party. Josh, I'm surprised the aliens haven't come yet. Battle.
Lucky's got one for us.
Oh, Lucky, what's up? Go ahead.
I don't have a question, but I just realized this as well. I happen to have posted like a picture of the space that I'm able to delete. And if I've seen some other people who've done the same, we can maybe repost with the new name. But if anybody has done that and has the ability to delete it, maybe that would be appropriate.
I'm as you speak, I am retweeting it. Good call, very good call. You know, I love having Anton here for Anton. I mean, it's great he works for Genius, but you know, we're all here to have a good time and hang out, and we're not trying to push the envelope. You know,
Literally to hear about Entrepreneur Resorts, that made my night. So thank you very much for that. And I didn't even go to Bali. You did.
Hollywood's back up, by the way. Go ahead. What's up, bro?
So it is in the nest now. Apparently, I booted myself when I posted it, but it is up there. So I figured you might want to, some people might be interested in that since you brought up having him on there, but that would be a good time to ask.
Yeah, bring it up.
I don't know. It seems to be falling apart, though.
What is?
CEO Block.
No, it's very early, honestly. When you think about like what the attention it's getting.
I don't know that it's getting the right attention.
Okay.
and it goes to what you were saying about CEOs being limited in what they tweet and what they put out there, and it seems like Roger has a really good balance. His presence is there. He knows, his shareholders know he's with them, but he doesn't go psycho if the stock goes down 5% in a day, like some of these people. Regarding CEO block.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he has a better product than most of them too. There, I said it, but the product matters.
Yeah.
The vision matters.
I like the way she said that.
Well,
size matters. So, listen. Long story short, we got a lot of people out there right now that probably have questions. If it's your first time in a Spaces call, come on up. This is just a group chat. It's a town hall meeting. Your voice needs to be heard. Be respectful. We're all here hanging out. Anton's here from Genius to hang out and chat with us. But, he lives by rules for the company he works for. So we got to respect that. And come up. If you got something to share, go ahead. We're here. We're listening. We got a lot of OGs in the house. I want one of you guys to come up. I see you, Battle. Dylan, what's up? You want to come back up? I want to hear from all of you guys. Don't be strangers.
Genius. Out of curiosity, I know that like a lot of people right now are having like job cuts and things of that nature, right? How are your current employees, other than you, right? Do you feel like they're being treated, as well as you feel like you're being treated?
I mean, I can't speak on behalf of anyone. I feel like Roger treats everyone fairly. It's like ultimate meritocracy. But yeah, I think that everyone's empowered, like no matter where you are in the world, no matter like what you're doing, as long as you're like providing yourself, as long as you're striving, as long as you're setting goals, reaching those goals, as long as you're achieving, as long as you're educating yourself and sharing that with others, like I meet with several of my teammates all like on a weekly basis and help with social, because like that's what I'm good at, and like they help me with like leadership, they help me with confidence, they help me like get on a panel and talk about this. So in terms of that, like I think that like everyone's sort of treated as like well as like you get what you put in, kind of, and I to this point like I really feel like really blessed to be in this position, fortunate to have the type of opportunity, take on these challenges that we're facing. I mean, like Roger says it all the time, like AI is not the future. AI is like now the present. Like ChatGPT-4 is the present. I was having dinner last night with a friend that works as a lawyer actually at Netflix, and I was showing him a few things that AI can do, and he was dumbfounded that something that would take him a week, like took me about 35 and a half seconds. And it's like, everyone is sharing information that pertains to themselves. Like, obviously, like, this is what I'm good at. Like, I'm good at social. Like, I'm not as good at, like, public speaking, obviously. But, like, when Roger says something and it's, like, a sentence out of 3,000 sentences, like, I take each one of those and, like, internalize them because they're so intentional and there's so much to unpack. And he's just, like, this 3-million-year-old Buddha, like, wrapped up in, like, a 50-something-year-old body. That's, like, more carved and chiseled than mine, to be honest. But, yeah, like, infinite wisdom for how he's lived, like, 3 million years on this earth. But you take it as gospel, and, like, you take the leadership, and you take the feedback, and you take, like, criticism. And that's, like, for everyone, right? Like, you take that stuff, and, like, you either, like, learn from it and grow from it, or you decide not to, and that's like when the ego comes in. So like what I'm trying to say is like it's up to you to challenge yourself. Like ultimately,
That sounds like such a healthy work environment, man. Like that's my whole thing. I was trying to gauge your like the work environment, and it just sounds like you guys have a really healthy one. So I like that.
It's really great, honestly.
Let's go. All right. Well, we got Striving Realm Jumper. He wants to say something. We got Dylan wants to say something. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, Anton. So I know you're part of branding and the team. If you could maybe expand like the overall, what's like your mission right now, and then ultimately what can we do here in this space to help you help us?
Oh, great question. Thank you. So I like branding and not marketing because marketing is what you say to people. Branding is what people say about you. So my focus is on brand, not marketing. I want like you guys to like understand us as opposed to us telling you what to think of us. You know, like that's why these messages are sometimes cryptic about Genius, and like the information like that we can share, we are trying to share, but like it's really up to you guys to determine like the sentiment, like how you feel, like tell us how you feel about the company, like the company itself, like what we're offering, our products, like our mission. Like if you've been to the Vision Villa in Bali, like I definitely want you to talk about it because like you're going to share probably a similar experience to the one that I had, life-changing in every possible way, mind, body, and soul. Roger's like this like 3 million year old Buddha who's like East meets West. He's like that spirituality, that touch of spirituality is what he adds. And like trying not to get into religion, but like spirituality is different than religion because spirituality is like kind of like the ethos, like the core of like motivation and like moving, you know. So like he adds spirit, like he means it, like he's invigorating you with like everything that he says, everything that he does. It's just like I want this person, like this is like my role model in life is Roger Hamilton. Like believe it or not, like I'm not paid to say that. Like I don't. What like love to hear that. You know what I mean? Like I've met this dude, I've spent time with this dude, I've watched every single one of his YouTube videos, you know, like all of his Instagram videos. Like he is like what I think like everything that I've ever wanted to be, in a moral like save the world type of way. And he's not a dreamer, he's a doer, you know, like he's doing it. And like I guess he doesn't have time, obviously he doesn't have time for like the day-to-day questions like we were talking about before, like what you can do in a day or in a week. He's like not really interested in those like short-term results, more interested in like revolutionizing the world, bringing education to everyone, like all four corners of the world, like giving everyone an opportunity, giving us an opportunity to better ourselves, you know, like giving us the power to do that. And like I'm going to be forever grateful for his impact on my life. Like I can't say the same about like many like situations, but like he's just a marvel of a human being that I'm really, really grateful for like every second that I spent with him. And I kind of you know, I have regrets too that like I didn't maximize completely like all of the time that I had access to him. You know, he's doing a lot, more than I could say, more than he can say, but I promise you he's there for us. And he is, you know, doing every last thing he can to really leave an impact on this world, which is phenomenal. Everything that you'd ever want to be is like wrapped up in a person. And if, you know, I got canned today or tomorrow morning, you know, for being on this call, I would say the same thing. And I would learn from it, but you know, it's
already been talked about too.
Liberating state of mind, this like process of education, like identifying, like look at the main products that we offer, right? The Genius test, and everyone's born a genius. That's like exemplified in practice, like through me. I am, like, I guess I've struggled sometimes in some places, in some ways, like communication. Like I'm, like, struggling to breathe right now on this call because, like, I don't really like speaking in front of people. But
you sound great.
And I figured out the type of genius that I am. He's empowered me by calling me that type of genius, encouraged me to be that type of genius, and then after that, like, I can find people that, like, complement and exponentially increase my expertise by finding different people with different roles, different types of genius. It doesn't make sense if you haven't taken the test, but I really encourage you guys, go on the site, Genius U, take the test, and figure out, like, what type of genius you are. Like, are you a creator? Because, like, if you're a creator, like, you should be, like, coupled with someone that's steel energy, that's, like, very much a doer or a thinker, or, like, a connector, for example. A connector is a type of genius that's really good at maintaining, establishing connections. That's a different skill set, So, like, he's kind of put me in a position. This test will put you in a position to figure out, like, where you stand and, like, who you need on your team around you to help you achieve your best self, like, to achieve your goals. And that's, like, really, really powerful stuff. And it's really, really useful in practice. It's useful for teams. It's useful for families. Like, it's like my wife and I are, like, somehow she turned out to be the exact opposite genius of me. Who would have ever thought it, right? Very, very meticulous.
I love it.
Sharp corners. Me, I'm, like, running in circles, and she's very, very sharp corners with order and stuff. So like, you learn your genius and you maximize your ability by, like, being in flow. What he says, like, you're in flow, which means, like, you're doing things that doesn't feel like a lot of hard work because you're just, like, it's just going.
Muscle memory. Follow your spirit. Follow your spirit. Yeah, absolutely. I want.
As a New Yorker, it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. As a New Yorker, it doesn't make sense. It's just like, New Yorker, go, faster, work harder. And, like, Roger just, like, sat me down. He's like, slow down. Like, you can achieve so much more. Just slow down, take a second, and, like, empower those around you. And now, like, we have a team, like, that's, building their social presences. Like, even those that didn't care at first, like, they're all coming on board, and, like, they're wanting that too. So it's like, you don't have to go all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, you just flow,
Absolutely. That's intuition. That's your own inner spirit, driving you, and you have to listen to it. Break away from your clique, your group, your people, your friends. Doesn't matter your age. Edgar Allan Poe says you're an average of your 4 or 5 closest friends. Break away for a second and get your internal spirit. If you got to go down south and take a journey, I mean, whatever you need to do, get away from it for a minute and humble yourself and listen to your gut. And, I'm 100% in support of that. I want to get to some of these other guys before we wrap up here. We got Striving Realm Jumpers, got a question or something to say. If anybody else wants to come up, you guys are more than welcome. Come on up. Go ahead.
All right. Great question, Dylan. You're actually kind of want to piggyback off of what you asked and the answer that you gave, Antoine. So I've heard you mention a couple of times, you described Roger as kind of like this 3 million year old Buddha. I think that's what you said. And you also mentioned earlier on the word integrity in regards, like, integrity is key, and that there's no half-assing in integrity. It's either you're in or you're out. So I'm kind of just curious. And then you were also talking about the test, and it seems that the sort of the test that you recommended, which everyone should take. I would ask, how does the test sort of reflect the ethos of Roger Hamilton? And then also, I like the word integrity, because I'm trying to sort of get a sort of like a threading of the needle
if you could give like another word that you think kind of summarizes a key principle Roger Hamilton has.
First word that comes to mind is champion, captain.
Hey, Bodie.
Someone that you trust.
I was actually going for psychology before I did this,
My life, my wife's life,
but I
my
figured
son's
I couldn't
life.
make enough money that I wanted to make with a 4-year degree, and I didn't want to go for my doctorate.
He's doing the right thing. So I guess like champion is the word. Someone that like I will always champion.
No offense, obviously,
Role model is
if you're not a doctor.
Just like someone that is.
My ex was, she has her master's, and it just, like, it didn't make sense to me.
And I'm sure, like, Roger is not perfect. Like, I'm sure he's, like, done something in his life that hasn't been perfect. Like, maybe, like, gotten a B on a math test or something in 3rd grade. But, like, even Tiger Woods, like, huge icon, has had these, like, huge mistakes. Has done and said things that are ridiculous and, like, outrageous. Like, how did we not see this? Like, how did Tiger let us down? Like, how did he do this? Like, whether it's his fault or not. Like, Tiger's been in precarious situations. Like, kind of blindsided, you know? Like, that's not Roger. Like, Roger is, like, what you see is what you get. The reason why we don't, like, have access to him right now is because, like, he is, like, doing it, you know? Like, he is doing what he says. He says what he does, and he does what he says. So, like, role model, icon, like, those are things that come to mind when I think of him. In terms of the genius test, how that reflects him, it's empowering. That's Roger's nature, is to empower those around him, to put everyone else into flow, to put me in a position to succeed is in everyone's best interest, right? Like, he empowered me to succeed. This genius test will empower you to succeed, and to put you in a position to, like, build a team, to understand yourself, so that you can, like, not, like, keep go, like a New Yorker, like, that never sleeps. Like, no, you can sleep. You can work well with a team. You can find people that'll support you. So that I feel like that is how the test, like, embodies him. It really puts you in a position to succeed at a much higher level.
I have a question. I don't.
Got something to say, guys.
Can I just ask him something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm just curious if you guys were to have a quiet period, are you allowed to tell us that you're having a quiet period or no?
I don't know what that means.
So there's a quiet period where if there's a company doing some kind of corporate action, they're not allowed to talk about it. And then there's a time afterwards or before, obviously, that they could, like, discuss it. And I'm just wondering if you guys have, like, anything regarding that, because, obviously Roger pulled his tweet. And so I don't know if you could tell us if there is one or not one.
Yeah, really good answer to that is Flora. Flora Hewitt is our head of investor relations.
Love it.
I can send you guys her, like, email address, or I think it's investorir@geniusgroup.net, maybe. But I'll definitely get you guys that answer, because, like I was saying, like, it's not my field of expertise, so I have no idea. Is the short answer to that. But I would like to learn more about it.
Well, I wish I'd studied business and economics.
And Flora would be a great resource.
I only need like 2 more semesters to graduate with a bachelor's.
Call, like, on the 19th, it's a great question to ask then as well. I think that the best questions are the ones that are kind of asking about Genius. Like, you guys can ask any questions about Genius, about, like, what we do, like the products. Like, the villa is amazing. Haven't been to the lodge yet in South Africa. I hear it's beautiful. Really, really want to go there. Next on my list, but yeah, I'm not sure to answer your question.
I love it. Well, Dylan, you got something? Go ahead, and then we'll wrap this up. Anton's been on here from GNS.
just hanging out with us. It's been a great time. We've been all sharing information about just how the world works. And, we'll be here Friday night. Hopefully Anton can join us. We got Frank coming on. We got Arca Bulls. We got Neil. A lot of good people going to be in there Friday night, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. You're all welcome. I want to get to a few last questions. I know Dylan's been had his hand up for a little bit here. Dylan, if you want to go ahead, man.
Yes, sir. I'll make it real quick. And the second part of my question, if it takes a little longer, then I'll accept an answer for tomorrow. Whatever the case may be. But first, thanks, Anton, for sharing some of your personal thoughts with us and everything. I know you don't have to, but you did, and thank you for that. But the way I kind of see Genius Group was, it seems like Roger's trying to make like a manufacturing plant for like entrepreneurs, for like lack of a better word. And if you could you post a link maybe to the Nest?
What happened?
For the test.
Yeah, I can post a link to the test. I'll tweet it like after the space. I don't want to like interrupt or cut short.
And let's all hook him up with retweets, guys. Like, let's blow him up with retweets. And I know that we are going to end the space, so I just want to say, Anton, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart coming in here and spending time with us. Just average folk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm average folk as well. Just trying to be my best self and make a contribution to the world and help people. So yeah, we're all the same. And thank you for having me. Like, this is kind of like the biggest public speech I've ever given. Hence why I specialize in social media, where I don't have to speak or be on camera as much.
You sounded great tonight. You sounded very well rehearsed, man. So like, be proud of yourself. You channeled your inner genius. And I see Josh with his hand up, but yeah, dude, you killed it tonight, and I appreciate every second of it.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. And like this, like I know that it sounds crazy, but like every retweet, every like, every follow, like it means the world to me, and like it means that we collectively, all of us, like on social media, we have a larger microphone. So like the more like we have, the more interactions we have, like the higher the count, the more likely we are to get attention and like in the right places, So like, it's not a vanity metric. It's like actually important. Like, we're actually spreading a message that's.
I feel like I'm
like, I like funny stuff.
If I am interested in something and I self-teach myself something, I'm better at it than if I'm taught something by someone else. Samantha.
Like, all of your support, like, means the world to me too.
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. And Josh wants to ask a question or make a statement. Go ahead, Josh. Battle's in the house.
Yeah, Anton, dude, I'm blown away. There's a lot of people in here, investors and traders, and listening to you speak tonight and just giving us a insider perspective of the psychology and the culture of what you're experiencing behind the scenes. Because we all see Roger, but not a lot of us aren't personalized with what happens inside the company. So for me personally, I'm an investor in things that I find that I like, that I identify with. And you did an excellent job articulating tonight of your feelings and the culture and everything. So I just wanted to just give you my appreciation for stopping by and hanging out with us and joining the conversation. Yeah, I hope to hear more from you on Friday. Should be a fun evening. But anyways, thank you. That's all I got.
That's Battle right there. That's my dude.
Yeah, that's huge, Josh. Thank you so much. Like, really gonna bring me down to tears. I'm turning the mic up now.
Yeah, we love having you, Anton. Thank you for coming out. Thank you to Buzz for setting this up. If you guys get a chance, jump on YouTube, shoot Buzz a sub. He's got great TA. He's fun to listen to. He's always on our Friday night Stonks and Chills, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. You guys are all welcome. Josh has been on there with us for a long time. We've been through a lot of runs. We got we went through the big reverse split with Cosmos and the squeeze and this CUSP change, and we went through a whole bunch of shit together. So he's been here with us. It's great having a genius in the house. Anton, you've been amazing. Thank you, Buzz. Buzz, you're always good. And jumping, thank you for coming out. So Striving Realm Jumper's been on here for a minute. Another good dude. We got a lot of great people. Dylan, Lucky, all you guys. Thank you so much, Hollywood. I would love to hear from more.
Yeah,
of you
but
guys.
why? I make enough money as it is, and I don't want to go back to school.
Retail's got to stick together. It don't matter if we're spread out there. We got a bunch of different tickers. Never hate on anybody's choice where they want to put their money. For me, it's an outlier. When I see that, I'm like, oh, am I hurting your money by putting my money over here? So for all of you investing out there, this is not financial advice. This is just us getting together, good friends, good family, just talking shop and getting to know the industry and what's going on.
And do your own DD. Do your own DD, please.
Yeah, that's very important. Do your own research. Don't throw money out there you can't risk to lose. The market is volatile. It's wild. You only lose if you sell. That's not financial advice, but ride the dips, and the rips. But just do your own DD. You be in charge of your own machine, but follow these guys. You support each other. Take everything with a grain of salt. We got a lot of good people in here. Shoot some follows around. Get to know the community. We're all holding mutual stocks across the board. And we're about to get our bull run, and y'all want to be there in Vegas when I'm buying rounds. And we already talked about it on a couple Spaces calls back. Stonks and Chills will be live in Vegas with anyone that can fly out there for some cocktails after a big play. So hang tight, have fun, hold your weight, have fun. Don't risk anything you can't lose, no doubt. Like, I don't want to hear people on here sweating it, My bar tabs are wilder sometimes than what I throw at the market daily. But just remember, don't risk what you can't lose. Have fun. Don't be too critical of it. It's a wild ride. But have fun, and hopefully I'll see you guys this Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. If anybody else has anything, come on up real quick. We're going to wrap it up and get together again Friday night and talk about this crazy weekend. I will see you all.
Just to make it easy, that it is 10 p.m. Eastern, just for anybody that is on my coast.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard, and we hope you guys are all out here, and let's have some fun. And I will see you all pre-market. Tomorrow's Thursday. We had a lot of pressure late in AH on TRKA. We had pressure on GNS today. We went from 109 to 146. We're banging on the door, obviously making it harder for the criminals. So we're having a good time. But this just so you all know, this is not financial advice. This is all just a bunch of guys
if I have time, my problem
out,
is time.
Share and talk. Average shit. We're all.
You're right, though.
Holding the same stocks.
Expanding my knowledge is always a good
having a good time. And there's no secrets. We don't know anything. None of us are execs. We're all employees or just holders having a good time. And nothing in here is to be taken with a grain of salt. It's all opinions. There's no financial advice. And we love you guys. And let's get it Friday. Anybody else got anything? Come on up.
I just want to say much love and thanks for having me, everyone.
Hell yeah.
Same. I just want to say awesome space. Antoine, thank you so much for coming on. Barking, thanks for having me. Buzz, nice to see you, bro. To the rest of you guys, awesome to see you guys as well. Peace.
Hell yeah. Good night, y'all. We'll see you Friday.
Good night, guys. Thank you so much.